Body. First things first. Let me know if this is coming in nice and clear for you. What is it? What, August the 15th tonight? Let me know if this is coming in clear, if it's kind of scratchy or choppy. Let you know I can back out of it, hit reset and jump back in real quick. But man, it's been a crazy couple of days with this new phone. Crazy days. For anybody who hasn't gotten a new phone, completely new phone, man. And like I said, if your old phone worked, that's one thing. My old phone didn't work. So that meant I couldn't just cross nothing over. Everything had to be re-downloaded from the App Store. Everything. And then on top of that, what up, Madman? And then on top of that, I had to remember all my passwords. And a lot of passwords I didn't remember. So I've been going through email, text message, calling people. I still don't know the passwords to the alarm in my house. So I can't see I can see the stuff from the side of the house. I can't see nothing from my doorbell because it's two different alarm systems and I can't get into my alarm system now. So I got to call the alarm company and tell them I can't remember my password. What up, Latina? Yeah, what up, Rasha and Lisa? Oh, and Lisa, I can't remember my Discord stuff, so I got a new Discord name. My new name is J Watts 51. This is it. J Watts 51. Bam. So that's my new Discord right there. Because I can't remember the Cashy Kid stuff because I put it in. Remember, that was my son's thing. That was his stuff. So I said, forgot password. They sent it to whatever email address he used when he created that account. I just took it from him because he had already made a Discord. Man. So now I had to create a whole new Discord. I'm just like, so that's my new Discord. So you got to send me something. And I guess I can rejoin under J Watts 51. This new phone stuff has been taking me for a ride today. Oh, what up, Triple E's is sitting on $11 surge from 230. Man, you've been sitting on that for almost 6 hours. Man, what up, All Scott? Man, it's been a crazy day. Like I said, even my truck, I had to get in, reprogram everything in my truck. I had text messages popping all up over the screen, had to go back through. And anybody out there who's a driver, if you don't know, because you know when you're driving and the text messages keep popping up on your screen, it just says like new message from, and it keeps pop. I can show you how to get that to stop doing that on your screen. What up, AJ? Thank you, my brother, for the super chat. Right, bright and early. We early in the super chat, man. I appreciate that, man. So I've only been able to do 2 private rides. That's it. Because I haven't been able to use the apps. I haven't been able to do much because everything's all screwed up. What up, Lindsay Levitt? Say you're Indiana, you're crush. Oh, that's what's up, lady. That's what I say. You're crush from Indiana. Well, thank you, lady. I appreciate that. Yeah, but no, it's been crazy. It's been straight up crazy. So I finally got it to where the stuff stopped popping up on my screen, like all these text messages coming up as I'm driving. There's a YouTuber out there that actually I'm gonna show you guys what he did. Hold up for a second. Let me go in here. If you have issues, let me put my ears on real quick. If you have issues, this is how you can stop it. Hold up. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, that's the link. All right, bet. So I'm going to have to come back and copy that link out of there. Because like I said, I can't get the link right here because I'm on my laptop, not on my phone, but I can come get it later. I'm going to show you. Hold up for a second. Let me share it. I'm going to show you guys, if you get tired of the messages popping up on your screen, this guy right here, he shows you how to stop doing it. This guy, I mean, it is perfect. This is perfect. I'm gonna rewind to the end a little bit.
When you're receiving a text message to your phone and it's showing on your screen. So I'm going to have my girlfriend send me a text message and we're going to stop that from our phone using the settings. It's going to be a very simple process. I'm going to have my girlfriend send me a text message right now.
I'm going to forward it to the end real quick.
And it's going to
show how he did it
on that screen right there.
Okay, I'm going to go about here. So he did it.
First of all, you're going to go to settings.
Go to your settings. Go to settings.
And you're going to go to your Bluetooth.
Go to Bluetooth.
And that's where you are connected.
You got to be.
You can see to that device, which is you connect right there.
So you find the device
for the Samsung
for your
S10.
Radio, whatever your radio is. So mine said Ford Explorer.
It says settings.
So you hit the settings.
If you connect it
You have to connect it. I was by my truck when I did it. So it says connected for calls and audio.
For calls and audio. But by clicking that button right there, you will see a list where it says contact access and messages access. So turn these off.
Yep, turn off contacts and messages.
You can cheat as much as you want. But here's what you're gonna do. My
Dude is hilarious.
Again, he's hilarious. Me a message.
He's hilarious with that. You can cheat as much as you want.
I'll get the message, but it's
so basically that's what he's doing. I'm gonna stop sharing that real quick. Basically, that's what he's doing. I like the fact is, you got that feature with CarPlay. I don't like my messages on my screen. I don't like that because I'm driving people around. I got music playing. And when it hits my screen, first it makes some chime sound like chime. And it'll just say at the top, new message. And it'll say like who it came from, like new message, like Juan Vargas maybe, or Jamil. It'll say something, but it won't read the message unless I hit the word hear it. If I hit hear it, then it'll speak the message to me. It won't ever show it to me as long as the car is moving. I have to hit hear it if the car is moving. I just didn't like it popping up. What up, King James? I just didn't like it popping up because I'm driving and it interrupts my music. It shows up on the screen, big old letters and everything saying, new message from. So if you use his little method where you kind of go to your Bluetooth, pull up whatever your car is and go through your little list, you hit that little settings button on the side, go through the list. It'll say messages, clear that out and clear out contacts. That way you can cruise around. And I'm like, man, say Olympics, Jeff, just keep it under 10 seconds. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't think you have to have CarPlay with it. You just have to have Bluetooth because mine does it just with regular Bluetooth. I don't use CarPlay with mine. It's just Bluetooth. And I don't like it just keep popping up the message in the middle. Like, oh man. Yeah, exactly. I had to go back through. What they made me do was go back through and trim that stuff out. So I went and trimmed it out and that was the video was fine now. It's not copyrighted. People can look at it now. Man, like, yeah, I just Bluetooth mine and it's not connected to CarPlay. What up, Chris D? What up, Mud Shark? Yeah, I don't connect to CarPlay, but if I'm like playing music like Spotify in my truck and I'm driving and I got that selected, it'll say like new message from. And if people keep sending messages, it just keeps interrupting the music with that chime. The music like goes down a little bit, then comes back loud again. It's a nightmare. But I remember he showed me that a long time ago when I first got the Ford Explorer. I forgot how to do it. So I had to go back and find his video again. And I was like, since I found it, let me show everybody else. Because there might be somebody saying, man, how do I get these messages to stop popping up on my screen, interrupting my music all the time? Because I don't, like I said, when I'm driving, I don't bother with that phone. I just be cruising, man. I just cruise. But so we started with that little clip to start the live stream. Knowledge. Hope it helps you out. Keeps your music playing nice and clean. Don't interrupt you. I like that. Now there was something else that I had in my tonight. We're gonna really discuss about what's going on this year. And there's a video out that I started watching this morning. I was tagged in it. Lake Fall Studio tagged me in a video this morning. And it's a really good video. I watched maybe about 40 minutes of it so far. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch about 40 minutes of it. And I'm going to watch the rest of it with you guys. But I'm going to play some of the stuff that's in the beginning. What up, Rideshare Rodeo? Hey, thank you for the gift. I saw that, man. When I was cruising, I saw it pop up saying you've been gifted a membership to Rideshare Rodeo. I was like, hey, that's what's up. Like, man, but there's a guy, like I said, Lake Fall Studio, and he had a different channel a long time ago, but I remember him and everything. And he's talking about who's dumber, Uber drivers or passengers, who's dumber, basically, like who don't know the industry as well. But it was a really good video. The title was kind of catchy, but the video was good. And it kind of makes sense because like today I did like 3 private rides today. So I only did 3 private rides and I'm at 205. And I went maybe about 55 miles today, total 55 miles. I can't do that in rideshare. I put it on UberX and XL and Comfort. I was coming back. They were giving me like 50 cent a mile trips. They gave me a $3.04 trip. I'm like, $3.04? No. Because once you start getting used to private rides and you start getting used to knowing what your worth is, used to knowing what people are willing to pay you to get in your car. They're willing to pay you to get in your car. They don't want to pay Uber and Lyft. They want to pay you to get in your car. What up, Bighorn Kev? And I'm like, if people out there only knew, if riders only knew what we were doing to this industry, how we were trying to change the dynamic of it to be from slave ride share to actually true independent contractors, entrepreneurs, people who have their own business. We're like owner operators. We're owner operators. We own our own business. We operate our own cars. What Uber and Lyft does is says, hey, we got a ride for you. We'll give it to you for 15. We should be able to counter offer that. Say, if 15 is kind of low, how about we settle like 25? Because I know you charged a person probably about $40, $50 for it. So let's go 25, 30. How about that? They won't do it $15. That's what they'll do. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. Exactly, Bighorn Kev, man. It's summer till September 22nd, right? It probably is summer, but still. For us, to me, summer ends when kids go back to school. I'm not talking about fucking seasons. Who give a shit about seasons? I'm talking about summer's over as far as students not being around, teachers like not in school, everybody's off on the road. That's what I mean by end of summer. For us, the season is not a date. It's a date for people out there who are fucking season nuts, maybe. For us, the summer ends when everybody's back in school again, when teachers are off the road, back in the classroom, when kids are going back. That's when summer is over for contractors like us. It's like winter starts when it gets cold. It don't start it has to start on this date is actually when. I don't give a shit when the winter solstice is. When it's cold, it's called wintertime. I'm putting on my coat. We doing wintertime shit. That's wintertime for me. I don't do dates. Like I said, I even wake up with no fucking alarm clocks. I operate off a universe, not man-made shit. If it feel hot outside and everybody's like not going back to school, it's summer. If it's hot outside but people going back to school again, summer's over. It's just hot as hell and they going to school right now. That's all that is. That shit don't make a difference. What up, Matthew, my man? Say that's saving hundreds in a year by, oh yeah. And I'm one of those people, man. I'm like, if we gonna get out there and do this right, we gotta start talking to people, man. We gotta start talking to people. Kev said winter starts when it snows in Colorado. That's what I'm saying. To me, winter starts when it gets cold outside. I don't call it fall. That shit's winter. It's sleet. It's freezing outside. It's because the shit don't feel like that in summer, unless you're probably in Alaska or Antarctica, maybe. But I've been using a mixture right now, but I'm almost ready to go strictly private. The slow time is about over. And anybody in the membership group, I dropped something about, football today. We ain't going to talk about it right now, but we're going to talk about it more in the membership group because I think we're on to something. Trust me, we're on to something. And I'm going to explain to you why when we get to talking about it more. But for right now, I want to show you guys the entry, at least the entry of this video. Is this right here? This is it. Who is more dumber, Uber drivers or Uber passengers in 2024? This is a really good video. It's a really good video. And I'm gonna start playing it. I mean, he's very cinematic. He's got all the cameras, all the equipment. He's very cinematic. I saw some of his other productions a long time ago, like 2 years ago when I first met this guy on his other channel. He is very cinematic. He's got some great video. But
okay, August 2024. There's nicer ways of putting this, but
I'm gonna
probably
through
the most effective way to title this video is just to say who is dumber, average Uber drivers or average Uber passengers.
It's a really good video.
I would say what I mean by this is who is you take the average Uber driver and the average Uber passenger out of 100 of each group, and which one of them is the least informed about, has the lowest understanding of how this industry works.
Make sure you guys subscribe
about rideshare, the risks involved, why it's cheap.
That's his channel, Lake Fall Studio.
What it's all about.
Lake Fall Studio is his channel.
I'd say
I'm going to put the video in the description, though.
But
yeah, I love his videos.
I got to go with the passengers.
He said the passengers are dumber.
I got to say that
I agreed with him.
I'd say the Uber passengers have.
And I'm going to pause that. The reason, like, I've been knowing Joe for a couple of years, long time. And he had another channel at first, but I just found this today. But the passengers, I think, are dumber. And I don't mean dumber like dumber. Dumber as far as they don't realize what Uber's doing. They don't know what Uber and Lyft are doing. They don't understand. Like, we know the game. We've exposed the game. We know their line. We know who the players are. We know Tony West. We know all these people. We know Dara and his use of immigrants and his wanting to bring in immigrants for the American dream. We know all that shit. Riders don't know. Exactly, Charles Fred. Riders don't know. So I agreed with him. It was one guy said, drivers are dumber. A lot of drivers are waking up. A lot of drivers are talking to riders like, hey, man, we could do this for like $70. You ain't got to pay $130. We could do it for like 70. And they're like, oh, really? Shit, here's $100. Thanks. Appreciate that. I mean, today I tried to charge a guy, $55 from the airport to Scottsdale. I said 55. He said, just make it 70. He put it on Square at 70. I was like, cool. What up, Jamil? They want to pay us more because we're educating riders on what everything is. I'm gonna keep playing Joe a little bit, so he's gonna help you understand a lot of this stuff, man. It's an hour 5 minutes. I made it to like the 40-minute mark before I had to go, but he's really good.
Less of an understanding about what rideshare is.
Yeah,
these days.
JTB was,
and good. It's always been the case too, because the thing is with rideshare over the years, I've been doing it for 10 years. So 10 years.
The OG.
I just can't believe it. It's like
Joe's the OG.
It's gone by that fast. So I started in the Northern California market in San Francisco.
Thank you, JTB.
In 2014.
Appreciate
coming
that,
up
brother.
on 10 years. I started in December 2014. And that back then, I'd say that it was probably a 50-50. It's probably evenly, like there was the average Uber driver, including myself. I am one of those Uber idiots out there. I still think
hilarious.
that I could beat the system, but just understand it.
He's hilarious.
It's like, I just need one more ride, man. I just need one more ride. Once you start, it's this. It really is an addiction.
He's silly,
it's. I mean, you say like, all right, I'm only going to go out in the mornings because that's when it's easy.
That's me. I'm
Airport
gonna go out in
trips.
the mornings. Yeah,
really
that's
easy,
me. That's me.
But then you start. It's kind of a gateway drug. It's a gateway ride. You say, okay, well, maybe lunchtime. Do some food delivery, gig work in general out there. It's there. It's an addiction.
Yeah.
Anyways, I would say when I started, I was an Uber idiot. I did not look into this stuff. I trusted these companies too much, thinking that they're worth $1 billion at the time. It was in the billions, but it wasn't in the 140 billion like today. But I was like, well, they got to have things figured out. These are well-funded organizations. It's got an app. So
it's got an app.
But that was enough.
I like Joe, man. He's so real.
You got to do your homework on this stuff. These companies are for profit. They're not for people. That's what it comes down to.
True shit.
So who's dumber? 10 years later, I'd say passengers are really drinking the Uber Kool-Aid more than the drivers.
I agree.
I think it's more of it's dumb versus desperate.
There you go. Yeah, dumb
drivers
versus desperate. Yep,
are not. The average driver, I think, is that's debatable. that's
Hold on. All right, I'm gonna pause him there because I want you guys to check out his video. I don't want to play his whole video on his live stream, but I just want to let you guys know. And he digs into it. He's got an hour-long monologue, and it is so interesting just to hear how his mind works because a lot of us think the same way he thinks. I'm gonna push it forward a little bit in the live stream a little. I'm going to go because right now we're only at the 4-minute mark. I'm going to go till about the 20-minute mark. Let's see something. Because like I said, I want you guys to actually watch his video. Lisa, she plugged it in there. We can go watch it later.
Doesn't exist.
Some of this stuff is good.
What it is Prop 22 says this ride is worth $6. Uber says they're going to pay you $5. They owe you an extra $1. They're going to take that $1 and they're going to give it to you as fake surge down the road when they need to. when they have a low star rated passenger or a crappy ride or something like that, they'll say like, okay, hey, we'll be generous. We'll give you an extra $1. That was $1 that you earned anyways, and you were going to get anyways, but they made it look like surge pricing. Now, if you're an Uber
Exactly.
XL and comfort car eligible car driver, then the same thing. It's kind of worse because that Uber X now, instead of $5, which should be a $6 ride, now they might give you $4 for that or $3 for that Uber X. And then when an Uber Comfort comes along or an Uber XL, which should pay more, they're going to kick that reserve, that Prop 22 money into your Comfort rides and XL rides.
But I'm going to stop him right there. What he's saying is 100% true. And I've been saying that lately. I'm like, man, the rides at the top are worse than the rides at the bottom. I was doing better on Lyft the other night than I was doing on Black. And I mean, I was on like XL. They were sending me 88 cents a ride. On basic Lyft, I was making like $3-4 a mile. I was making $3-4 a mile on basic Lyft. The higher I went up in tiers, the worse the pay was. The bigger the splits were. It was all like, he knows this guy, he's a 10-year OG. Joe's a 10-year OG. And he knows exactly what he's talking about because, like I said, I made it to the 40-minute mark. I was riding back from my ride when I was listening to him. And I was like, oh man, this dude, he's on it, man. He's on it. He's on it. So what'd you say, Jimmy? I just finished a ride from the airport to the W, converted a lady for future rides. Now it's private tour from the W airport, $65 prepay arrangement. I love it, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Let's hear Joe real quick.
And make it look like Comfort and XL you're making more. But in the long run, after 2 weeks, I'll bet if you total up your time, money, miles, and everything, you're making the same as an Uber X driver.
Told you,
you're
man.
Just thinking that like Uber X and XL and Comfort. It's like the same thing with Safeway. Just been doing it for years. It's like they'll say whatever they want. We use the club card. Hey, great! You saved $27 on groceries. Compared to what? Did you give me $27? Like they'll say like it's like selling a can of soda for like $1 million, but oh no, don't worry, it's $999,000 off, marked down. It's on sale, so you can't afford not to get this soda. So
that's how these rides.
Yeah, it's $1 million soda you got for $1 because it's $999,000. So it's like but it's $1 soda. So that's how
it's only worth $1.
That Prop 22. I think there's a lot of misconception about that still with drivers. They don't understand that earnings guarantee. We do in 2024, August 2024, all gig workers still get paid by a per mile and per minute basis.
I believe it.
And if you want to figure that out, it's not that hard. The Prop 22 is the distance compensation is 34 cents a mile. The time compensation is 32 cents a minute. It's 120% of the city's minimum wage. Average city in California is the California state minimum wage is $16 an hour. You multiply it by 120%, you get $19.20 an hour. You divide by 60 minutes, and then you get 32 cents a minute, and that's 32 cents a minute and 34 cents a mile for every car, every driver, every platform, every level of that platform. That's it.
I'm telling you, man, this dude, he's on his shit, man. He know his shit. Because when you start looking at some of these rides, when you see that 66 cents a mile, 67 cents a mile, it's what he's talking about, the 33 cent plus the 34 cent. You're going to get the 67 cent. That's your miles and your minutes. They're giving you miles and your minutes, but they're calling it a 67 cent a mile ride. Then when you start getting surge, it goes to $1 a mile. With surge, you're like, wait a minute, why is it only $1 a mile with surge? Unless you take a super, super short ride and you're getting $3 a mile, $4 a mile. But if you take a 20-mile ride with surge and everything, they're going to give you $22. That's only like $1.03 a mile. And you're like, wait a minute, man, something just don't work with this, man. I'm telling you, hey, James, that this is part of what I was telling you about in New York, Jeff. Yeah, this guy, he knows exactly what he's talking about. I'm going to move it up some. That was at the 22-minute mark. I'm going to move it up to about the 30-minute mark. I mean, because it's a lot in this video, a lot. This dude, he tells a lot.
Get away with this.
Wait a minute. Let me back up.
Now, what happened? Drivers, basically, this is a wrongful death lawsuit against, one of your drivers caused this. At the time, Uber was like a year old, and with the platform of, Uber X or something like that, maybe less than a year old. It was, and
he knows this app up and down.
He had classified them. It's like, hey, whoa. That's not one of our drivers. What do you mean one of our drivers? We don't have drivers. We don't own cars. This is Uber talking. We are a technology company. We have an app. It's like, Facebook, or, it's an app. It's not, we're basically, if you get ripped off, it's like Craigslist. If you get ripped off buying a car on Craigslist, it's like Craigslist. Over the years, I've looked at this and verified this. Craigslist has more warnings about safety than Uber's website about rideshare.
Scams and spam.
Uber was like, it's not our problem. Sorry that this happened, but that's not one of our one of our drivers, yeah, but it's not our driver. He doesn't work for us. He just uses our app.
Independent contractor.
And they made that clear in the terms of service and everything. And so like they had the backing to get away with this. Now what happened was,
and we saw
driver
this in
went to jail for vehicular manslaughter. This was such a PR disaster for these companies that all the companies, Uber and Lyft, were freaked out about. Wings was another one that was back then. And then I think Sidecar was another one. They were all afraid that like they're going to get shut down, or they're going to be forced to pay for very expensive commercial insurance for all their drivers. And so in response to that, to preempt that, recover this, they announced, as if they were selling it to the public, like saying, hey, good news. We finally, we've decided, as from the goodness of our hearts, like they didn't reference this tragedy at all because of that as a motivation. It was just saying like, great news, we've decided to give you insurance. Now that insurance, what it was is they shopped around. This is for profit, people. This is for profit, not
listen
people.
To him, man. He knows what he's talking about.
So they went to this company called the James River Insurance Company or something like that previously had not been in the insurance industry and was like known for getting caught in subprime lending in the housing crisis or something like that. So it's like they shopped around to the cheapest possible so-called insurance. And you got this like weird policy of like it's gotten better over the years, but it's still like the $2,000 deductible or $1,500 deductible for the driver. But it's $1 million policy. But here's the thing. Even today, it's $1 million policy, but it's secondary
to our insurance,
to your personal policy.
Yep.
So if you get into an accident, something happens with a passenger and is injured, you have to. The process is, and a lot of drivers don't realize this, there's ones that do. The scary part is the ones that do, and then there's loopholes in the system. Passengers, 99% of the passengers have no idea about this, have never heard this information before, because Uber does not tell them this information. Lyft does not tell them this information when they sign up as a passenger. They just say how great and wonderful and background checks and all that. That's like, no. Are you kidding? There's a reason why we don't see your full address, your actual address when we pick you up. That's another thing. Before I forget about that, it's if you ever wonder why your Uber driver is kind of hovering around and not the exact location on a rideshare pickup, especially when you're heading to an airport, it says near. What we see is it says near 1408, whatever, Main Street Avenue, whatever, something like that. Near that.
Yeah.
Not exactly that address. So somewhere in that vicinity you're going to be picked up. Because if we knew your exact address, if it was that clear about the exact pickup address, and then something happens, like we're chatting you up on the way to the airport, oh, you're going to be away for 2 weeks? Wow, what a vacation. Your house is going to be empty for 2 weeks? What was that address again? Never been a better time to be a house burglar.
I pick up people all the time.
Serial killer.
Like, I'll be sitting in front of somebody else's house. And
like a list goes on. Rapist. Like, that's Uber's legacy right there. Or for now, until the self-driving cars are going to kind of be the nail in the coffin for all that stuff. But an autonomous vehicle like is going to start. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, some space virus, Navigeddon starts going fast and furious. We need Toretto.
Well, I'm gonna see. It was something else that he was talking about that I loved it. Hold up for a second. Was it right about here? Let me see.
Afford to care. They can't afford to worry about things like having the right insurance because nobody's checking that you have the right insurance.
This is it. Hold up.
Subscribers. The content is for drivers and passengers. It applies to, obviously there's more passengers than drivers on these platforms. There has to be.
This is a good part right here.
Passengers
this is a good
than
part.
Drivers out there. So for this model to work, but I mean, again, that ratio gets pretty close to being oversaturation and everything. So, but it's anyways, okay. Back to who's dumber? Who's dumber? It's a great title. Anyways,
he called dumb. That shit was funny as hell. He said, "Who's dumber?"
We're talking 2024. Average passenger. If you ask them to tell me, like, what is rideshare? What is Uber? I talk to average passengers all the time.
This is good.
As a driver in the Sacramento market, San Francisco Bay Area, Northern California market. I could tell you the ones that I have conversations with, it's pretty shocking. Like, it's probably less than 1 to 5% maybe of the passengers, maybe closer to 1 to 2%. That actually have an understanding about how this industry works. And even then there's gaps in their understanding. Most of the passengers, a lot of the passengers still don't even know that Uber is rideshare. So when I talk to them about Uber, like, oh, how do you like using Uber? I'm like, oh yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, rideshare is amazing. What's rideshare? What were we just saying? So it's like Memento. It's like talking to, the character from Memento. Anyways, I forgot what this is like Memento. Anyways,
he turned into Memento. He forgot his damn self. But, that shit was so he forgot himself. He was like,
all right, let me fill you in on some details then. All right. First of all, to drivers, there's still drivers. I think that most of them know this stuff, but they don't care because that's where the desperation kicks in.
Yeah.
They can't afford to care.
The pigeons. They
can't afford to worry about things like having the right insurance because nobody's checking that you have the right insurance. And they can't afford to, well, what else can they, do proper maintenance on their vehicles. I mean, that's another thing. You gotta, driving the right car. I mean, that's another thing that's like a red flag of like understanding about this job. There is there really isn't any incentive to drive a nice car.
He's going to talk about Priuses right now.
They will rip you off. They will think that there's an incentive. I did Uber. I've done.
And that's the thing. He's right about that. The nicer the car you get, the more the apps will rip you off because they're selling you like a slave. The apps will say, we got this real nice Navigator about to pick you up. We got this real nice Mercedes finna come pick you up. And people go, ooh, a Mercedes, how much? $125 is black car service. Oh, nice, $125. The black car service comes up, they get $49, $60. They get something like that. But the people are paying $125 for black car service. The driver's been sitting around all night wanting a ride. He's desperate now. He's been sitting around all night wanting, because y'all know they don't send us a lot of black rides. We get a black ride. Oh my God, $47. I got to take it. We don't care at that point. We're desperate at that point because we haven't been getting rides all night. This is how they play people on the upper tiers. I've driven Lyft. I've driven basic UberX. I've driven everything. And now I'm on the upper tiers. The only way I'm making money is private rides. The apps are not paying me for this truck. The apps are not covering this truck. Private rides are covering this truck. You guys on YouTube are helping me with this truck. If I dropped all the way back down to base tiers, I could do Lyft all day, but I'd be doing the same shit I was doing. Short rides with Surge. I'd be doing the same thing I was doing without the truck. I got the truck thinking these apps are really going to take care of me. I was going to get these super black rides, these black SUV rides. I was really thinking it was going to happen. I don't think with this truck, the only time I've really had over $1,000 a week is when I was doing, $200 a day in private rides. Next day, I do $400 that day in private rides. The next day, $350 in private rides. There's no way I was doing all of these app rides, making $1,000. In the BMW, I can do it because all I had was the base tiers. So in the BMW, I can snag surge to that Circle K, I could do it. But in this big truck, you're thinking they're going to send you good rides. Nope, they throttle you down. One night I fell asleep with the app on. I think, and it timed me out like 12 hours. It timed me out because I woke up and it was like view issues on my phone. It's like, you've been driving for more than 12 days or whatever. I'm like, well, this is pretty fucked up. It's like they didn't send me a ride all night to bing my phone. Bing. They ain't bing my phone. So I'm sitting there like, wow. I'm like, the whole night I was sleeping, they never sent me a ride. That was some bullshit. So what he's about to say is real.
Almost all of the platforms over the years, I did specifically Uber Comfort and XL all of 2023. And I can tell you, I will never do those platforms again for profit in California.
Yeah. Now, y'all saw the other night when I was doing XL, y'all saw all the rides on my ride along, the comfort rides and everything was paying me less than the basic Lyft rides were paying me.
Because I figured it out. I understand how Prop 22 works, and I understand the mind games that it allows these companies to play on the higher platforms. So the simple description is, if you're making $5 on an Uber, if you're an Uber X only driver, you're driving a beater Prius or whatever. So Uber X only, and you get a ride, and it's short ride. It's worth $5. Okay, you're an Uber X only driver. You're probably going to you'll see that the Uber will say, like, we're going to give you $5 for that ride. Thank you, upfront details. Okay, now let's say you have a nicer car, a Tesla, or something. I had a Dodge Grand Caravan. It was a 2020 Dodge Grand Caravan. Love that vehicle. Comfort and XL. So Comfort and XL should pay better than Uber X. So that same ride, what happens is, or what Uber did is they will take so that do you take that same Uber X ride that comes in, that was $5 when you were just a lowly Uber X driver. Now that Uber X will be $3, and now they know that they're going to owe you $5 for that ride. They might actually owe you $6. Actually, this is actually the whole thing about Prop 22. Go back to that Uber X driver. So it's a $5 ride, or Uber's going to pay you $5 at the end of the ride. You collect your $5, but that was a $6 ride from Prop 22 because the length of time and the mileage and everything, that the minimum earnings guarantee says they have to pay you $6. So Uber's holding on to that $1. They have to pay it to you after the 2-week cycle of Prop 22.
Yep.
They're holding it back so they can give you fake surge, which is another scam that drivers kind of fall into these days. Surge is pretty much fake.
You're saying that all the time, man. I say that all the time.
Surge does not exist anymore.
They just dropped
it is a thing of the past. It says surge. It says exclusive. It says bonus. It says, like, hey, this is a person who really wants that ride, so we're going to pay you the extra money. Doesn't exist. So what it is Prop 22 says this ride is worth $6. Uber says they're going to pay you $5. They owe you an extra $1. They're going to take that $1 and they're going to give it to you as fake surge down the road when they need to. When they have a low star rated passenger or a crappy ride or something like that, they'll say, like, okay, hey, we'll be generous. We'll give you an extra $1. That was a $1 that you earned anyways, and you were going to get anyways, but they made it look like surge pricing. Now, if you're an Uber XL and comfort car eligible car driver, then it's the same thing. It's kind of worse because that Uber X now, instead of $5,
way worse,
which should be a $6 ride, now they might give you $4 for that or $3 for that Uber X. And then when an Uber Comfort comes along or an Uber XL, which should pay more, they're going to kick that reserve, that Prop 22 money into your Comfort rides and XL rides.
Yep.
And make it look like Comfort and XL you're making more. But in the long run, after 2 weeks, I'll bet if you total up your time, money, miles, and everything, you're making the same as an UberX driver. You're just thinking that like UberX and XL and Comfort. It's like the same thing with Safeway, just been doing it for years.
Yeah.
It's like they'll say whatever they want. We use the club card. Hey, great! You saved $27 on
you
groceries.
Talked about that right there. Yeah, and that's what I like about this video about Joe. He's a 10-year OG. Dude been driving for 10 years. He has been in, he's been out, he's been up, he's been down. Like I said, his channel is, let me go back to it. That's his channel, Lake Falls Studio. So Lake Falls Studio is actually his channel. And I want you guys to subscribe him. Watch this video. Who is more dumber? Uber Lyft passengers. He's got Prop 22 videos in there. Lisa's throwing his videos on there. This guy actually he's a 10-year OG in California. 10-year OG in California. That's the hot spot right there. This guy knows everything about. I mean, I'm listening to him. I'm like, wow. Because I've been saying on my channel, because if he would have made this video before I bought the truck, I'd have been like, man, you just a hater on XL, man. You just a hater. You just mad because you got a little ass car. You just mad, man. I got this truck. I'm like, they pay me less in the truck than they pay me in the car. They pay me less in that truck than they pay me in the car. There's like 67 cents a mile, 76 cents a mile, $1.13 a mile, all XL, comfort, big rides. Then they'll throw me a really good black ride. Then like they'll say, hey, man, we're going to throw you a good extra comfort ride. They threw me one good extra comfort ride. But it's catch-up money. It's all catch-up money because they want to make sure, there's this channel right there. It's all catch-up money. They want to make sure that they pay me X amount of dollars toward that 70%. And they're going to get me for the rest of the time. They're going to overcharge riders, underpay me. They're going to make sure I stay right under or right above that 70% mark. So they don't got to pay me shit. And when people will be like, yeah, man, I got 100%, I got 110%, I got this and that. They're not telling you what these people really paid. They're really not. Because people are like, they'll tell you this person paid $36 when this person paid $47. They're really not telling you what they paid. They're not being honest. And he's breaking down how he knows even what they show you, the lack of honesty is there. The dishonest business practices are there. Man, it's crazy. What'd you say? When I bought my brand new CX-5 SIG to get back on comfort, they sent me XBS to shitty passenger to impress them. Oh, yeah, they were trying that. Today, when I was driving back, I had Uber on everything just to see. Man, $3.04. Have to make a U-turn to turn around and go pick up somebody, $3.04. I was driving 4 miles to pick up somebody to take them 0.8 of a mile for like $4. I'm like, wow, not even $1 in this big ass truck. And they never sent me an XL, never sent me comfort. Well, they did send me an XL, but I think it was like a cheap one or something. I should have I can't screen record with this phone. I got to wait till my other one come in. But I was like, man, Uber was really trying me. They were really trying me. But this video, man, it's good. And I'm glad I'm chopping it up like this because I want you guys to go play it in continuity to get his whole natural train of thought. When you get his whole, and I'm just skipping around. When you get his whole train of thought, man, it's going to turn everything he's saying is like, you know what? If he would have said this before I bought this truck, I wouldn't believe him. But the fact that he's saying it, and I've been driving around in this truck, everything he's saying is exactly true. And I've said it on my videos. They do us worse in the upper tiers than they even do the lower tiers. They make us think it's a lot of money. Oh, Jeff, look, man, $46. Then you find out the rider paid $102 and you got 46 out of the 102. And you're like, you really sold me for $102. You really sold me for 102 and you gave me $46. Yeah, we gave you 46 because you knew you was tired of hanging out at the Circle K. So we said, hey, man, you want $46 ride for 25 miles, a little over $2 a mile or whatever. It was always like $2.13, $2.53 a mile, always. But they're charging these people like $7, $8 a mile. And I'm like, you're charging them $7, $8 a mile, but giving me $2.53, $2.99 a mile. And I'm sitting there like, wow, they're doing us way dirty in these upper tiers, man, way dirty. It's like what Mr. Gamba say? He says, hey, these days they will slave a driver out every moment they can. Took a 10-minute comfort trip to end the night. Got 19. They hit the customer with 19 insurance charge and a $30 service fees, $49. Wow. $49 take. Wow. See that right there, man. And these customers don't, like he said, who's dumber, the passengers or the customers? Who's dumber? A lot of these passengers, we have to educate them. We're the only ones that can stop this industry from going in the direction they're trying to take it. They're saying these customers, they need a ride. We got drivers who are desperate. They're so desperate because they're not going back to a W-2. We got both of them. Not if we stand up. Like I said, Joe is breaking it down, man. He's breaking it down. Let me see what else he's got. Let me see. We're at the, now I'm at the 40. This is where I stopped watching about the 40-something minute mark.
Injury, compensation right now. It's like they'll settle for 5, but whatever. They're going to take you to court. Even if they take you to court, there's still a good chance that they could win. And there, if they have that much, they'll have that much evidence against you. If you can show that they're doing this habitually, more than a couple times, and this is clearly a con, then that's when you win. But it's still going to cost you legal fees and investigators and all that stuff. It's like, for the possibility of winning, it's still going to cost you several $1,000s, and then you're not getting that money back. So then to you, it's like, a settlement for $1,000 or $1,500 sounds pretty good. You write them a check, you give them $1,500, and they avoided all the court stuff, and they go off and do it again. That is NDA. How they could do that once a month, or that, a couple times, twice a month. And it's like, to do it a couple times. And it's like, and they're preying on the thing is, like, Uber drivers, it's almost like it's a desperation filter. So you think, like, who's their victim, who they're going after? They're going after somebody who's probably pretty desperate. It doesn't have out of options, is doing this to, like, they have to, whatever. It's like, it's this or nothing. It's like to survive. So, maybe they want to fly under the radar. They don't want any spotlight. They have to keep their job. So, like, suddenly paying this person $1,000 or even $500, it's like, going to an ATM, withdrawing $300 cash. It's like, it's almost perfect. I hate that term, perfect crime, but that's
basically what it is.
So that's the cash ride that you don't want to do.
He said, "Do want to do cash ride." Let's see. He said, "The cash rides you don't want to do."
Okay,
as and all we do is cash rides.
Now, those things on the driver's side, I think there's a good amount of drivers that actually know this stuff and understand it, but they still go out and take the risk.
Yeah,
myself these days.
Yep,
I'm not taking the risk on cash rides.
I take it every day.
I don't take the risk. All I can do is try to limit my risks.
Yeah, mitigate it.
And that's by, like, I don't pick up passengers with lower than 4.8 stars as a passenger. I don't pick up after late night Ubers. I don't do bad parts of town. I don't.
He's got a good plan. He's got a good plan.
Yeah, I'm trying to phase out rideshare altogether. I still go out on weekends, like the 7 p.m. to midnight shift in certain areas, and it's like house parties are fun. Taking people to clubs and everything, it's a good time. But I tell you, like, for me lately, like, I've fallen in love with, like, food delivery, DoorDash, because the tips, you're gonna make the same Prop 22 money on all these gig apps, but food delivery, DoorDash, there's no vehicle requirements. There's no one. You don't have to interact with anybody. You can watch movies in your downtime. You can listen to whatever you want. It's like, and people tip more. I've said this for years. They tip more for their ham sandwich than they do taking their families safely to the airport.
And that's where, I'm gonna have to say something about it. I know he don't do cash rides and he's mitigating his risk and everything. That's cool. But when we do cash rides, I tell people, with the amount you're paying me, you don't even have to tip. I'm getting paid like $9 a mile, $11 a mile, $20 a mile. And I'm telling people you don't have to tip, because with the amount they are paying me, I did a circle. I picked them up down on Jefferson, went from like Jefferson to like 3rd Ave. And I went around to like Gracie's tax service, and it was closed. So I took them right back to it. It was like $45 for like 3 miles. I did a big 3-mile loop, and they gave me a 20 and 25. He cash at me $25. But that's what we do on cash rides, though. And me, I'm a professional driver. I've been driving since I was 15 years old. I don't wreck cars. I don't total cars. I trust myself. I know where to position my car. I don't drive like I'm in NASCAR. I drive like there are people around me that don't know how to drive. That's how I drive. I look at everybody around me and say, these are all idiots, Jeff. Stay away from them. I don't tailgate people. I don't ride side to side. If somebody's riding next to me, either I speed up or I slow down. I do not put my car around other people. Even when I park in the parking lot, I park my shit way out in the middle of nowhere because I don't want nobody dinging my damn car. But that's me, though. That's me. Yeah, and that's what it is. Cash rides, you just activate it. You can use cash rides, activate hum. People don't realize you can also get your own commercial insurance. If you trust yourself enough to make this money, you can go out and get your own commercial insurance. You can go get your own livery insurance. You do not have to ride on Uber and Lyft. Uber and Lyft is charging you 10x of what you pay anyways. Only difference is Uber's going to keep feeding you bullshit rides all day to cover that because they're making money off you. Like Joe said, they're for profit. They're going to keep feeding you shit rides all day. And at the end of the day, you're going to turn around and be like, oh, man, I did a ton of rides, man. I don't know what the hell, you got to understand like how this game really works. This game works. Oh, yeah, I've been driving since I was 15. I was born in 73. Most of us been driving since we've been like 12 or 13 years old. We're 70s kids, 80s kids. We're not new age kids. We grew up in farms on Memphis, St. Louis, Chesterfield, South Memphis, way out in West Memphis. We grew up on farms. We've been driving since we've been like 13, 14 years old. I started driving since I was 15. The first car I ever drove was a stick shift. I drove a stick shift Hyundai Elantra. It was a silver stick shift Hyundai Elantra. I drove that. First car I ever drove, 15 years old. But I know people who've been driving since they were 12, 13, 14 years old in Memphis. We were the generation that didn't have cell phones. And because we didn't have cell phones, we had to do something beneficial. So we said, okay, I'm going to do this. Since I don't have cell phones, I don't got shit to do. Let me go outside, get in this car. I'm going to put this alternator on. Yeah, I was working on cars in 4th, 5th grade. I'm putting on serpentine belts and doing oil changes. I didn't have a cell phone. So we were like a part of life. We were a part of life when we grew up. So for me, this is Gen Z wouldn't understand, Jeff. Yeah, so for me to sit there and see all these people like kind of older and they don't know how to drive yet. They're like hitting shit. Like they're hitting poles. I ain't never hit a fucking pole. Poles don't move. The pole's been where the pole is. So it's like when I see people hitting poles and stuff like that, I'm like, dude, who taught you how to drive, man? It's like you got to know the dimensions of your car and how the steering wheel works and when you should gas, when you should brake, when you should let it coast. We're professional drivers. We've been doing this for a long time. So some people would rather, like me, I mitigate risk. I did 3 rides today. I made $205 on 3 rides today. $205, 3 rides. Went about 50 miles total. How many rides do you got to take to make $200 in ride share? And how many hours you got to work? See, I'm thinking the more you're on the road, the more you're in traffic, the more rides you take, the riskier it is. To me, cash rides mitigates my risk because I ain't on the road all day. When I got to take somebody, leave my house, go pick them up, drop them off, that's $60. Either I come home or I sit where I'm at. I don't move again. I'm going to drive somewhere else, pick somebody up, drop them off. That's another $60. I don't move again. I'm at 120. I don't move. I might grab somebody from Gilbert, take them all the way to the downtown, $100. Cool. Now I'm at 220 already, and I only did 3 rides. I mitigate my risk by not putting my car out on that road. So many people are on the road all day, going through so many different phases of traffic, going through rush hour in the morning, then rush hour lunch and rush hour dinner and rush hour after work. They're driving in all these phases of traffic. And when I drive, there's usually no traffic unless I'm picking up somebody midday from the airport. But like he stops at midnight. I don't wake up till 10 o'clock p.m. some nights. I'm waking up at 10 o'clock p.m., washing my car in the middle of the night, getting it all nice and clean. I start driving at midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. Bam, all that money starts generating. That $171 ride I did, $171 on Lyft, it was 39 miles. It was actually 39.9, so 40 miles. $171, 40 miles. That was at 2:04 in the morning. So I'm doing rides for $171 at 2:04 in the morning, and it's only taking me 40 minutes. By 2:44, I've made $171 on one ride, 2:04 to like 2:50. I've already made $171, one ride, no risk. It was all highway, but it was at 2 o'clock in the morning. See, I drive at different parts of the day. So the way I mitigate my risk are I don't drive all day with my car in traffic around a bunch of people that don't know how to drive. That's one thing I don't do because I don't trust everybody around me. My cars don't get wrecked as long. I mean, I sit at a stoplight, motherfucker rear-ended me. Y'all saw that on my video. Sat at a stoplight and somebody rear-ended me. You can't drive around these people. So what you do, you say, I'm going to get my car away from everybody and I'm going to make my money off the app in a private sense. You can use Hum for insurance. You can go get livery. You can get commercial like Jamil's got commercial. And that's how I drive. I don't sit around and tell people, oh man, insurance ain't ever phased me. I can drive a car with nothing in the glove box. I don't even need insurance in my glove box. I don't need nothing in my whole car. I can drive this car with nothing. I don't even need fucking floor mats. I can drive this car. Anything's going to happen to me? Oh, trust me. Somebody's going to cover my car. I've been hitting the Jeep 3 times. I got rear-ended in my Jeep 3 times, rear-ended 3 times. 3 people's insurance paid me for that Jeep 3 separate times. Because I don't drive like these people out here. I know, and I was sitting at a stoplight 3 times. I sat at a stoplight 3 times, and 3 times people ran up under the back of my Jeep. And I got the pictures in my thing. Dude's whole car was totaled. Yeah, I don't even need a steering wheel. I just tell this motherfucker, let's go. Car just take off. It's like, man, yeah, Hummer's moving slow. Oh, yeah. But yeah, we're going to watch a little bit more of his video, just a little bit, not a whole lot, because I want you guys to actually go show him some love and watch his video. But he's got some pretty interesting stuff to say.
Priced like a taxi or whatever. Well, what they see is they see it when they quote an Uber ride. They see an upfront, they call it upfront pricing. They see like, oh, great. It's $25.27 to go to the airport. Like, all right, I'll do that. Sign me up. And then if they get caught, like, if it's caught in traffic or whatever, it's like they think that it's, it's like, okay, well, fixed rate. It does vary. It does if the app knows that it's significantly longer or whatever, or they added routes or something like that, or something like they decide to take another direction, it will adjust that rate at the end.
Yep. They
pretty
do
sure
it. They do it.
They'll definitely adjust it for the driver because it's under Prop 22.
Definitely adjust it down.
Minute and mile. But that price that was quoted, if everything goes fine, is $25 to go to the airport. That is no way connected to what the driver is earning. So most times drivers earning maybe half that, maybe 30 to 50% of what that fare is.
Yeah.
There is no, what passengers need is a Prop 22 for passengers. They need some kind of regulation that's like, says like, all right, you can only charge this much in events or something like that.
Yep, they're gouging
gap thing to it. But good luck with that.
It's capitalist market.
That's the thing. It's like this is why Prop 22 passed, is that there's more passengers than drivers. They didn't even need the driver's vote. They just all they did was just pitch it to like passengers and say, hey, do you like rideshare? You want it to still be cheap and accessible and fast and everything? Well, vote for this. Otherwise it's going away. The same thing happened, Minnesota. They knew how to put the pressure on the right people on this stuff. These companies they're above the law. So
we say that all the time. Yep.
Anyways, that's what $140 billion gets you out there. That's what having billions of dollars in cash gets you, is political contributions.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna play too much more of his video because, like I said, that was a good video. I watched most of it today. I watched like 40 minutes of it. I got like another maybe 30 minutes of it to watch. But man, he hit so many points that we talk about on this channel. So many. And like I said, man, that's Joe. He's the OG. He's been doing this for 10 years, man. 10 years. This dude's been out here doing it. And oh yeah, speaking of Waltz, I got some videos about this guy. I got this guy. He is out here right now pitching this pitch in his speeches that, I'll let people make their own choices. They choose, and they can choose what they want to choose because it's every American right of choice. But people now heard that speech are going, he shut my business down during COVID. He put me in jail for 90 days during COVID. All these people are coming out the woodwork saying he don't let people make their choices. People were getting shot with rubber bullets when he shut down everything at the George Floyd thing. They were shooting people with rubber bullets because they were standing on their own porch, just watching the police walk by. Police were like, get in the house, get in the house. They were like, we're on our own porch. What do you mean get in the house? We're just watching you guys. We're just standing on the porch. Get in the house. They started shooting people with rubber bullets because Tim Waltz said they're allowed to shoot people if they don't go into their house. They can't stand on their porch. They have to go behind their door, close their door, or shoot them. He said that. So none of those people had lawsuits, man. None of them had lawsuits. They sat there and he let it happen, man. I was like, wow. I'm telling you, man, I got Video, you motherfuckers don't know I got video. Let me go in here and find this. Because like I said, and with Joe's videos, man, the one thing I like about him, like I said, he's very mindful. He's very thoughtful on what he's saying. And he's really cruising through it. So wait a minute. Let me see something right here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna open this one right here. Yeah, this one's good right here. Yeah, this is gonna be a good video right here. You guys are gonna like this one, but because it explains exactly who Tim Walz really is. We're gonna talk about it in a second. They're probably collecting about $8 billion every quarter just in insurance. Yeah. Oh, you know it. They're collecting. They're charging people 10x, man. Wait. A video on Joe's needing a dash cam. Okay. A video Joe did on needing a dash cam. Yeah. And I tell people like this, man, the most secure rides I do are my private rides. I take around doctors. I take around authors. I drive around, grandmothers who don't want to use Uber and Lyft because, people don't want to help her load her luggage and just basic stuff like that. And I'm like, these are who my passengers become. And they pay very well. It doesn't take me a long time to make $200. So I'm not on the road, 8, 9, 10 hours every day. If I'm on the road for 2-3 hours, that's $200. I'm done. And when you do private rides, if I have to drive somewhere for an hour, it's over $100 already. I'm already over 100 if I got to take somebody an hour away. When I pick up people at the airport and take them to Queen Creek, that's 130. If I got to take them airport to airport, that's at least 100. If I got to take them airport North Scottsdale, that's at least like 80, 90. So when you're doing private rides, you're not on the road a lot. If you don't know how to drive your car, you have a problem. It's not whether or not you got injured. If you don't know how to drive your car, you got a problem. I have 5 cars. They don't get wrecked. They don't break down. So if you don't know how to drive the one car, you haven't mastered that shit. The gas, the brake, the steering wheel, the turn signals, the lights, the radio. If you ain't mastered that shit, why are you driving? Why are you driving? I'm not scared at all to say, hey, man, I'll come pick you up. Because when we was little, before Uber started, what did everybody do? Think about it. I know Gen Z, they always had phones. Before we had cell phones, before we had apps and shit, what did people do when they said, hey, man, I need a ride? Did they go, you got commercial insurance? They ain't never say no shit like that. Like, I'll be like, what? Motherfucker, we finna come pick you up and we gonna drop you off at work if you say you got to get to work because you already running late. We gonna drop you off at work. Okay, cool. That's all we did when we was little. Now all of a sudden it's to the point where, well, you can't use it for, if you get paid, you can only give people rides for free. If you give people a ride for free, then it's fine. But if somebody gives you money, then it's not fine no more. So is this how you force people into poverty? By making them believe I gotta take my BMW and I can give people free rides all day. I can give them free rides all day. I can fill my tank up, blaze through tires, go through oil all day long. But the moment somebody gives me $20 for gas, oh, you need commercial insurance, man. You need commercial insurance. They just gave you $20 for gas, man. People they pay for my time. It's called consideration. They pay me for my time and my fuel. My car is going to wear and tear. I'll drive you up there. You got to go an hour away? I'll take you an hour away. That's cool. But it's going to cost you like $100 because, I got time. I got to go there. I got to come back, this and that. And if you tell me, oh, it ain't worth nothing to me, man, it's zero. Because if you ain't got commercial insurance, man, I'm not paying you nothing. That's zero. This is how they trap people into thinking. Oh, yeah, man, you guys got to just do it on the app. These apps are already illegal anyways. And I got tons of video about that. But I'm going to show you guys this right here about Tim. Hold up. Oh, yeah. Shoot me Joe's email. Definitely. He'll be fun to have on here. Yeah, this right here is a good video right here. This one.
Some of us are old enough to remember.
Listen to this.
When it was Republicans.
Listen to this.
It turns out now what they meant was the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Listen to that.
Mind your own business, really? Pot kettle black, Timmy.
Watch this.
Consider his record during COVID, which included setting up snitch lines so neighbors could turn in neighbors. And now let me tell you about Lisa.
Yeah, the dude that's preaching about mind your own damn business. The dude that's going around telling people to mind your own damn business. He set up snitch lines telling people, wait till you see what the narrator on the snitch line was saying. This is what Tim Walz put out in Minnesota. But yet he's going around on campaign. We're free America. Mind your own business. Don't snitch on your neighbors. Don't tell on your neighbors. But this is what he did. Listen to this. Listen.
Neighbors. And now let me tell you about Lisa Hansen. She's a mother of 8, a grandmother of 18.
Okay.
She owned a wine and coffee bistro 90 miles south of Minneapolis, and she wanted to mind her own business. So when Governor Walz issued a shutdown order during COVID, she tried to comply. But of course, the shutdown orders kept coming, and it soon became clear that she may not have a business if she follows that order. So between December 2020 and January 2021, she reopened her business on 6 different occasions. No one died. No one was hurt. She was just trying to take care of her family. For disobeying Governor Walz, she was fined $1,000 and sentenced to 90 days in jail.
Yet this guy was saying that he never did stuff like this during COVID. He's saying that he allowed people to make their own choices and their own decisions. This is what he's saying on the campaign trail right now. This is why everybody's coming out of the woodwork going, this guy is a liar. We live in Minneapolis. We live in Minnesota. This guy is a liar. He's lying about his military career. He's lying about how he ran the state. Everybody's saying he ran the state to the ground. He was pretty much a dictator, the way he ran everything. People are coming out the woodwork calling this dude out because he ain't just going to walk up and be a VP like, hey, this is amazing. Look at this guy. People calling his ass out.
That's how Governor Walz feels about minding your own business. Lisa Hansen joins me now. Lisa, great to see you. I know you ended up serving about 60 days, but what's your message to everyone watching tonight about the type of leader Tim Walz really is?
Listen to this. Listen to this.
Thank you, Laura, for having me on. We know, us Minnesotans know the type of leader that Tim Walz is. I know personally the type of leader that he is. He is an evil man, and we have seen him orchestrate this evil. We have great concern that his evil, orchestrated with Harris's evil, will destroy our country, just like Walz destroyed Minnesota, has destroyed Minnesota, and so many businesses. My business is gone. My business was destroyed by Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison. And he is not the cute, cuddly leader that people are making him out to be, that some of the MSMs are making him out to be.
He's an Uber
Tim Walz is truly a radical tyrant. And this is not a country of tyranny. This is supposed to be a republic. If we get Tim Walz as vice president and Harris as president, the republic is done.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, Lisa, I know you've moved out of Minnesota, and I've got to say I've spent so much time in Minnesota over the years. I love Minnesota. I love Minnesotans. But for the life of me, I can't believe what's happened, especially under his leadership. Minneapolis was a great place. I know you're from outside of Minnie, but great town, great city, great people. I don't even recognize it anymore. And that's what Americans want. Is that what voters want for the country? Again, you left. Why did you leave ultimately? It wasn't just going to jail.
A lot of people left Minnesota. A lot of people left Minnesota.
Correct. Well, I mean, look at all the things that Walz has put in place over this last year, over this last session. Horrific bills that they have passed at the Capitol. You can't even protect yourself anymore without fear of going to jail, going to prison for a very long time. We're the sanctuary state. If you want to have abortion right up until moment of birth, come on into Minnesota. We'll do that for you. If you want to genetically alter surgery for your children, come on into Minnesota. We'll do it for you. It is the things that this man has done
the high taxes,
to our state.
Lisa.
Yeah.
What's
slap on high taxes on top of it, including high taxes, unbelievable environmental regulation. It's a disaster. Minnesota has to save itself, and the country can't go down that road. Lisa, I'm glad you got out. It's sad what's happened to the state, but thank you for setting the record straight about Tim Walz tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
Yeah, now, and there was another one that this other lady She ended up leaving Minneapolis. I got to show you this because, like I said, people are coming out the woodwork really telling the truth about what went on in Minneapolis because a lot of people don't want to talk about it. These people are really saying, no, this is what happened in Minneapolis. Wait a minute. Is it this lady here? No, that's not that one. I think it's this. Yeah, I just watched that one there. It's this one here. This lady right here.
In Minnesota, just like in Wisconsin, we respect our neighbors and the personal choices that they make.
Saying it again.
Because we know there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
He's saying
America
it again.
needs to know my story concerning Governor Tim Walz and what he did to me, as well as so many other business owners in the state of Minnesota. Southern Minnesota was a lovely wine and coffee bistro, and it had been in operation for going on 8 years by the time that my business was shut down and destroyed.
Governor Walz and his staff, they were happy to sit home and collect a paycheck. Well, that's not something that I could do. He's not good in a crisis.
Yeah. Everybody's
okay, Minnesota governor,
saying,
you just heard him, Tim Walz saying, quote, mind your own business. He didn't do that when he shut down everyone else's business in his draconian COVID lockdowns. And then small businesses were lit up on fire when he delayed sending in the troops to stop the 2020 riots that burned small businesses to the ground. Joining us now, former Minnesota bar owner, Lisa Zarza. Lisa, we admire you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. We want to know what happened to you. Your story is so emotionally painful and heartbreaking. When we heard it, we just wanted to find out. So you lost your bar and were forced into bankruptcy under Tim Walz. What happened?
Well, essentially, Tim Walz had shut down our state with the entire country. The first shutdown on March 17th of 2020. On this November 20th of 2020, he decided to shut our state down for a second time, when most of the nation was kind of starting to see that shutting down and social distancing was not maybe the most effective way to curb COVID. He shut our state down, and on December 16th, me and about 10 other business owners decided to open up our business and violate the unlawful executive orders. What ensued from there was I lost all my food licenses. I lost my liquor licenses. I was barred from the state. I lost 2 businesses. I own 2 different separate businesses. Barred from the state for having a liquor license for 5 years. Was forced to file personal bankruptcy. Was fined over $300,000 from the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison. And now I own an amazing business in Wisconsin, because if you look at what Tim Walz did when he shut down our state, he was crossing the border and coming into Wisconsin and going to dinner in the Wisconsin bars that he shut down in Minnesota.
And now, ain't that some crazy shit? So this governor was shutting down all these businesses, saying it's going to help keep everybody safe. He was shutting down all these businesses. It's going to keep America safe. But he was driving over the border into Wisconsin, where they didn't have shutdowns, to go out to dinner and to party and to hang out with friends and family. I didn't think COVID was just a Minnesota issue. He did that to Minnesota on purpose. This dude shut down the state, have everybody going bankrupt, fining people, putting people in jail. But then he's skirting to the next state to eat at the same restaurants that he shut down, months prior. This is how raggedy these people are, man. People are coming out the woodwork telling everybody who these people really are, because nobody even knows who these people are. They're walking around lying. Yeah, Arizona was wide open. We were doing shit in Arizona the whole time. It was bars, clubs, everything was open. Everything was open. So I was like, man, we weren't shut down at all out here.
Lisa, this is outrageous. You were bullied. Small businesses were bullied under Keith Ellison and Tim Walz. They had no right to do this. So you were also threatened with arrests and fines by Walz's administration. You feel you were unfairly targeted. You filed for bankruptcy. I think you have $300,000 in legal fees when Tim Walz let big box stores like Target, Walmart, Home Depot to operate, but they really went after the small business guys and gals.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the same executive order, they shut down the Minnesota bars on, like I said, November 20th. We were all running at 50% in Minnesota. That executive order shut all bars down from 50% to 0% occupancy. It's the same executive order that opened up all stores, all retail stores, 100%, which fell a week before Black Friday. There was an email string that he had sent out in October saying he saw no correlation between bars and restaurants and the spread of COVID. And this was sent to Jan Malcolm, who is the Minnesota Department of Health director. And they said, let's get creative so we can find that correlation. There was no correlation. Wow. He just targeted small businesses that couldn't fight back. We weren't the big stores. We couldn't fight back.
It's wrong, Lisa, what happened to you. Thank you so much for bringing us that story. You know, it's no wonder with stories like Lisa's, you know, job growth collapsed under Tim Walz, period, full stop. Lisa, thank you so much. We're going to stay on the story. I know that was tough. We appreciate.
Yeah, but that's the guy who they're trying to have as VP, claiming he's going to help fix the economy. He's going to help fix the economy. The same guy that was shutting down small businesses while he was leaving big retail stores open, saying you guys can go back to 100% occupancy. If this was really about COVID, it was really about people getting sick. Why would you let the big stores go back to 100%? Because she said Black Friday was hitting. They were all like, man, we need Black Friday. So Black Friday is better than your health. If this is all health related, you saying, you know, COVID only hit certain, so it only hits small business. It don't hit big businesses. It don't hit corporate America. It only hits small businesses. This was orchestrated. It was planned. And these people are all coming out the woodwork saying this is what he really did. This is how he was shutting people down. He was shutting down all small business, anything that was a bar, anything that had a liquor license, anybody. First, they were at half occupancy. Oh, you can only have like 100 people here. If your occupancy was 200, you're going to have 100. Then it went all the way down to 0. But at the same time, they said everybody has to go to 0. They said all the big stores can go up to 100% because Black Friday was hidden. I'm telling you, man, this whole shit's a scam. It's all a scam. These people are all actors, man. They all actors. These are not real leaders. These people are put into position. And because he supports immigrants, because everybody's like, man, he was against drivers for a corporation, for Uber. He was for big tech during COVID. He was for big corporations shutting down small people. This guy's right in the hands of the plantation. He's like, dude, I know how to do plantation economics. I know how to do it, man. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. This is the thing, man. If somebody's going to sit around and do actual real work that people are saying, this is what they did that really, really affected this whole state. This is what they did that really affected small businesses. And people are like, wow, how do you think if they can't handle it in their own city, their own state, they're going to run 50 states like that? You can't do 50 states like that. You can't even do your own state. Anybody from the state of California should never be running for like federal office fix California first. Look at Kamala Harris. Where is she from? California. Look at California. I rest my case. Look at Minneapolis, Minnesota. I rest my case. Anybody in New York, should you run for office? Hell no. Look at New York. I rest my case. So for people that are saying, oh, I didn't do well on the state level, let me do it on the federal level. Say no. If I can't trust you with $10, I'm not going to trust you with $1,000. You blew through $10. You don't know how to handle something small. You can handle something small. And now you want the biggest job of your career, the biggest job of your life. When you fumbled the bag just trying to run a certain state, you didn't even know how to do that right. Oh, people just need to mind their own damn business. Meanwhile, he's setting up a snitch line for people to snitch on each other. There's other videos in there too, but like I said, I'll save those for another day. I got some heat on his ass because he's sitting there running around saying one thing, but people have proof that he did it completely another. They actually have physical proof by all these closed companies. He's running his mouth. Oh, I had weapons in war and I was in war. He was never in war. People are like, dude, you was never in war. What are you talking about? Oh, well, I guess I misspoke. No, it's not misspoke. It's called lying because you've been going around telling everybody that lie. That you was in a war. You wasn't in war. That's why everybody reporting on that shit right now. You was never in a war. And then he going to turn around and talk about, oh yeah, well, people just need to mind their business and let people do what they want to do. No, man, please. All these businesses are like, man, people. And like I said, the ladies who've been put in jail, the ladies who have been fined, they've got attorney names. They've got politicians' names that were, they've got names. They would be fined they would get sued for defamation, slander, and libel by saying all these names if the shit was fake. You can't just say somebody's name and throw slander on their name if it ain't real. These ladies is on national TV saying this is who did it. This was his director. This was his general. This was this lady. This was this guy. This is what did to me. So if they're actually giving you true proof and true names live and in the flesh, it ain't a lie because these people can all they can get sued for slander, sued for libel all over. Their whole life is over at that point. So why would they sit and lie? For what reason when it could be proven wrong if it was wrong? These people don't exist. All I got to do is start bringing up documentation and paperwork. This was my business. I lost some. People worked at these places. People worked at these places. You don't think anybody who worked at those places gonna be like, well, this lady's lying. We were still open the whole time. What is she talking about? We were open. They would call her out. They would call her out. Yeah, man, ain't nobody worried about chinchilla. Nobody worried about that. Like I said, not everybody's that intelligent, man. Like you're saying, how is this lady gonna lie about how is all this gonna be fake news when these people can be sued for slander and libel? How can you tell me with a straight face these people are lying when they have proof? We have seen this man lie with our own eyes. We've heard him lie. I was in war. I carried weapons in war, and he was never in one. He was saying he was going to places he'd never been, and people in the military was like, he never been. He didn't finish the training. That was never his title. He's calling himself that title, and they're like, he never reached that level. Why is he calling himself that level? Chinchilla's not that educated with this shit. We seen it right in our face. Yeah, people need to mind their own damn business. Meanwhile, setting up a snitch line. Hey, snitch on your neighbor. I'm like, man, this shit's crazy. Exactly, man. And then you got the nerve to sit up and try to be VP. Like I said, damn. I don't know what the hell. I guess I had Lyft on the whole time. What the hell? I had Lyft running the whole time. A $50 black ride, but it was for like 25 miles. Whoops. Let me go offline. That's how long I haven't had a ride. I must have turned this shit on like early this morning. I don't even know. Hold on, let me see. What time did I turn this shit on? Let me see something. What's my time limit? I was online for 3.28 hours. 3.28 hours. And I've been on a live stream for almost an hour and a half. So this thing has been running the whole time and it's never, they don't send shit. Exactly. It's like, I didn't even know that motherfucker was turned on. I turned that shit off. A $50 black ride going like 25 miles. I'm like, I'm cool on that shit. So I ain't even dealing with that right now. I'm not dealing with that. Exactly. And that's how I fall asleep with this thing on all the time because they never send me rides. I fall asleep, wake up the next day. I'll be in the kitchen doing something, all something, bling-a-ling. I'm like, what the hell? Hold up, man, shit. I know Persian, man. People say shit like that all the time, man. It's some of the phoniest shit. So phony. Exactly. Live so quiet, man. I forgot it was all out there, man. You got new drivers in your area. Yeah, people be like, my friend. But like I said, I don't listen to a lot of shit I hear people say because they never have proof. People be, yeah, because of Trump, I lost my job. No, maybe it's because your ass was drinking on the fucking job. You lost your job. Well, I wouldn't have got fired if it was a Democrat in office because all people drink. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I got more tickets during Trump's years than I got any other year. Well, maybe because your ass be speeding and you ain't got no fucking valid license plates on your car. But still, during Obama years, I didn't have no license plate and it was fine. It's like people want to blame the president for the shit they do. It's like, come on, man. You out doing crimes, trying to blame somebody else. Well, I should have been able to steal shit and run out the store because Obama's in. Okay, man. I'm telling you, Lyft is dead, man. Lyft is dead. That shit been running for like over 3 hours, and it finally sent me a ride. Whatever, I'm over that shit already. It's 9:20 at night. I'm not leaving my house with no 50 fucking bucks. You throw me now with a $95 ride to go like fucking 30 miles. I'll go do it. It's like that shit. Nah, I'm cool. I've already made $205 a day. 50 bucks for 25 miles, $2 a mile. Like I can get a $4 a mile, probably basic Lyft ride, taking somebody to Wendy's and back. I could do that shit all night. Yeah, I'll take you to Wendy's and back. $4 a mile. Cool. What's that? $12? Bet. Do that shit a few times. But I'm not going to sit there and do that $2 because like I said, that was 20 something miles. Therefore, I'm 25 miles that way, which means I got to come 25 miles back, which means that's 50 miles for 50 bucks. I'm back at $1 a mile now. It's like, no. Oh yeah. And the thing is, the dude lied and don't even have the nerve to have the accountability to say, you know what? I did lie. I shouldn't have said that. I've been telling that lie for many years. His whole family know he's a liar. Everybody knows he's a liar. When you sit and you walk around pumping your chest, yeah, I was a major sergeant, this and that, and I was this in the military. I was in the war. I was shooting at people shooting at me, and I'm carrying these guns. This motherfucker never left the office. He never left the fucking office. Like, come on, man. So Live Black for a migrant is probably 7 hours, 25 miles. That's where you're last, Jeff. I know. I know it. Live Black for a migrant is probably $7 for 25 miles. Exactly. They'll take that shit. Oh, I'm going. So you just outsmarted millions of riders. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. But it's like, I'm not dealing with that shit. If you want me to, do some rides for you and you ain't sent me rides all damn day, you better send me something better than $2 a mile. And that's $2 a mile going away from my house. That means I got to come back. I just did all that shit for $1 a mile. It's like, nope. If you put it at $4 or $5 a mile, now maybe. And it was like 3 miles away from me for like 20 miles. So 23 miles total. If it was like, let's say a couple of blocks, if it was like 0.5 of a mile, I could have went and tried to convert it. If it was 0.5 of a mile, they would have said, no, I'll just brought my ass back home. That's 1 mile. 1 mile to see if somebody wants a ride. But to go 3 miles and then 3 miles, nah, I'm cool on that shit. I wouldn't even cancel a live stream for that. No, $50. No. Like I said, if it was 95, I'd be like, hey, man, I'm going to hit y'all back in a second. Shit, I'm going to go make this $95 real quick. Shit, they don't pay like that. Exactly. Tim Walz is a blue falcon. What is that? What's a blue falcon? Where's Reza at, bro? Bring him to the live feed. I know Reza. Who's Reza? The blue falcon. Hold up, man. There was something else I had in there because there was another Uber video that I watched. It was pretty good. Oh, hold up. Where's my watch later stuff at? Watch later. No, that was more. Man, it was something that I watched. I can't remember what it was. Oh, that was that. Nah, it's not in here. It's not. Oh, maybe it's in history. Hold up. Maybe it's in history. Wait a minute. I think I probably found it. Ooh. Wait a minute. What's this? The Rise and Fall. Did I watch this today? I think this is what I watched today. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I don't think that was it right there. I'm about to show y'all something cool. This is cool. Hold on. Let me go. I'm going to find it. Where was it? I think this was it right here. Uber's the most fragile business in the world. Oh, yeah. This is it right here. Oh, yeah. Y'all going to like this one. This is good. Hold up. Robin, this is what I think this is something you sent me earlier today. Hold up for a second. This is something I think you sent me. Uber, the most fragile business in the world. This is 13 minutes. It's good. We're going to comment on this one. This is pretty good right here. Y'all going to like this one.
Uber has always struggled to be profitable from day one. Originally, the idea was that Uber just needed to achieve large enough scale and that the company would eventually become economical. But in reality, the larger Uber grew, the more money they burned. In fact, during 2019, 2020, and 2022, Uber was burning as much as $10 billion per year. It seemed that things were finally turning around in 2023 as Uber started putting in a few profitable quarters. That's why Wall Street analysts were expecting that Uber would profit a solid $474 million in the first quarter of 2024. But Uber didn't just come in with a lower amount of profit. They actually came in with a bigger loss than analysts were expecting them to profit, coming in at $654 million. Now, granted, much of this loss was due to poor performing investments and illegal settlements.
This is
but
good.
It just goes to show you how fragile Uber's business still is. One downturn in the market or a few legal settlements is all it takes to make the company wildly unprofitable. That makes sense when you consider how thin their margins are. Uber's gross margins themselves only come in at 40%. For perspective, most of their tech peers have net margins of 40%. Meanwhile, Uber's net margins barely come in at 2 to 4%. So all it takes is a few percentage swing in ridership, cost per mile, surge pricing, or incentives, and Uber is back in the red. If you ever pointed out these concerns to Uber's ex-CEO Travis Kalanick, he would be quick to point you to how good revenue growth is. But if you take a look at revenue today, you'll see that it's very much starting to level out as Uber reaches market saturation.
Now, I'm going to say something about revenue. You see a lot of riders, a lot of drivers out here with channels. They always talking about their gross revenue. They're always like, yeah, look at how much I made. Look at how much I pulled in this week. They always showing their gross revenue. But yet they're doing 50-cent a mile rides, $1 a mile rides, 89-cent a mile rides. This is what they're banking on all week long. And yet at the end of the week, after 84 hours of driving, yeah, I made $2,319. And it's like, okay, you made $2,319. What's your margin? When people don't understand what margin is, when they don't, well, what do you mean by margin? This is how much I made. No, margin is you could have a growth in revenue, but if that revenue is costing you too much to make, then you're operating at a net loss. You can't always say, well, my revenue is growing, but it has to be increasing at an increasing rate. If your revenue is increasing at a decreasing rate, you need to go back to the point of equilibrium where your revenue, when it first starts going down, that's where you stop. If it stops at 25 hours a week, all you should be making is working is 25 hours a week, and you should be doing private rides or something else other than that, doing another hobby, maybe doing basket weaving, maybe delivering newspapers, doing Uber Eats or something. I don't know. But if at 25 hours, your revenue stops growing at an increasing rate and it starts growing at a decreasing rate, you need to say, what can grow faster than where I'm losing money right here? People don't talk about margins, man. They never talk about margins.
It's a similar story with valuation as well. Between 2009 and 2018, Uber rocketed from a seed valuation of $3.86 million to an IPO of $82 billion, aka a 21,000x. But over the past 5 years, Uber has barely grown 50%. Clearly, Uber is maturing from a size and a revenue perspective, but their bottom line and stability are just as volatile as ever. So here's how Uber became the most fragile business in the world.
And they're still fragile because look at us doing private rides right now. Look at how we're doing private rides and how we can take a customer, convert a customer. That customer can talk to their friends, pass our number to friends, pass our card to friends. Look at how, all right, Lisa, you be easy out there, lady, be easy out there. Uh-oh, she sent it to Forbes. All right, cool. And if Uber's business is so fragile that us as a driver, anybody can go out and convert a ride at any minute if the rider doesn't like the price, if the rider doesn't like the services they've been receiving from Uber, whether it's be, I keep getting cars that smell like shit. My drivers, they don't know. I can't even communicate and talk to them. And usually when I'm riding, I have a conversation or something, but it's like I even have a conversation with them because they don't speak or whatever. I mean, people are getting pissed off at the product that Uber is selling. They're trying to sell drivers and cars that don't measure up to the increase in money that everybody is spending. That's why they're so fragile. Why am I doing so many private rides right now? Because I'm doing a ton of private, because people are tired of going to these apps. They're not getting what they pay for through the app. They rather just pay us directly than saying, man, I don't want to pay Uber $89 to leave the airport, then have to ride the whole time in a car that smells like fucking goat cheese. And the guy can't even talk back to me or whatever because they're scamming at the queue and there's no American drivers being able to get rides at the queue. And I'm talking about doctors, attorneys, lawyers, authors, arborists, people who do trees, arborists. I take arborists. And these people are all just average, everyday people just with a lot of money. Today, the doctor was cracking me up because he was like, well, I do consulting too on the side or whatever. I was like, oh, that's cool. I said, what kind of consulting you do? He said, I just do like consulting over like financials and stuff like that, isn't it? He said, so while I was in LA, he says, my flight would have came back earlier, but I decided just to sit around and I was reading these documents. He gets paid $600 per hour to read these documents and to go back and tell people how they can make their documents different as far as revenue go, because he's in the health sciences thing. He's actually going to be on my live stream one day, and he told me he'll be on my live stream, and he's not even going to charge me for it. But he's making $600. He says, yeah, I made about $2,000 waiting on the airplane. I was like, what? He said, yeah, I was at the airport. I just made like $2,000. He said, I could have flew in earlier, but I was like, well, I'm going to do this work while I'm sitting here. He said, so I just booked my flight for later. That's why I had to go pick him up at 5:30 instead of earlier today. He was supposed to be done by 1:30. He was supposed to be flying back. He finished his appointment at 10 in LA. And he was like, okay, I'll finish at 10. He says, but I was going to fly back at 1:30. I decided to come back at 5:30 because I wanted to do this work I had to do. Dude made 2 G's. 2 G's. Says a white or black doctor. I don't know, man. He's just a doctor. How about that? How about that? Jeff's providing value. All right, let's get back in this thing right here. Hold up.
If you're interested in deeper dives, interviews with insiders, and exclusive tech analysis, consider subscribing to our free weekly newsletter. But anyway, before Uber entered the scene, the taxi business was one of the most profitable businesses in the world. Not for drivers, but for taxi medallion owners.
The medallions.
If you're not familiar with the taxi medallions, they're basically the license you need to drive a taxi in the US. This might sound a bit weird in the modern world of rideshare, where anyone can just open an account on Uber and become a driver. But back in the day, becoming a taxi driver was a long and arduous process, not to mention extremely expensive. This was very much on purpose. More than ensuring safety standards and proper licensing, taxi medallions were used to limit the supply of taxis. This way, taxis didn't just become a race to the bottom.
So this is what I like telling people, this part right here. If medallions were so expensive, it kept the market from becoming saturated. Uber, just like he's saying, Uber was doing something on purpose. They wanted to purposely saturate the market to tank the prices, to tank the pay of what they can pay drivers, because now you got a lot of drivers out there. But yet, if you're charging the same prices no matter what, now you got a debate. You got a battle with the taxis. If you're charging the same price with the taxis, you guys are charging the same prices, but how can you beat the taxis? He's going to tell you how Uber beat the taxis, even charging people more or equal to what taxi were charging when taxis didn't have that many people out because of medallions, and Uber had all these new drivers out. This is very interesting right here.
They still kind of did, but taxi medallions slowed the process. Year after year, taxi medallions became more and more expensive. In fact, taxi medallions are one of the best performing asset classes of all time. Between 1951 and 2011, New York City taxi medallions generated an average annual return of 16% and cost over $1 million by the end of it. And this is precisely when Uber entered the scene.
Here we go.
On one hand, Uber was democratizing the market by blatantly ignoring traditional taxi regulations and creating their own market driven purely by supply and demand. This naturally won them a lot of pushback from local governments and the traditional taxi industry. In fact, in 2010, San Francisco issued UberCab, which is what they were originally called, a cease and desist, which included penalties of up to $5,000 per instance of UberCab's operations and up to 90 days in jail for every day UberCab continued to operate. Just goes to show you how much they hated Uber. Eventually, Uber would make it past this pushback with the help of public support, but they kind of just doomed themselves. You see, initially economics weren't an issue for Uber because they weren't directly competing with taxis. They actually offered a premium service with black Lincolns that cost 50% more than taxis. This is why the original service didn't even have a tipping feature. Uber was already a premium service with premium pricing, so there was really no need for tipping. But all of this changed with Lyft.
And that's why I tell my clients, y'all hear me say that in all my videos all the time. I say, you're paying me well enough, so you don't got to tip me. Just like when Joe was talking on his video about you get better tips on delivery. You get so many more tips on delivery. I say, with what I get paid, you don't have to tip me. You're paying me enough. If you want to tip me, knock yourself out. But the way I drive and the way I charge my people, you don't have to tip me. When I tell them 75 and they give me 100, I'm very appreciative because I know the 75 is probably what they would be paying the app or whatever, or even close to. The 100 is definitely what they be paying the app, and they're just giving it all to me. When I tell somebody, 65 and they give me 80, here's four $20 bills. I love that shit because I'm sitting there thinking, the way people are so generous and grateful to us, paying us for premium rides and premium service and bottled waters and all this stuff and great music and all this. We don't need tips. Now, if you're doing delivery, you might need a tip because we know that the service fees, delivery fees, all of that shit is getting taken out of what the customer's paying. So a tip only helps you want to deliver the hamburgers, want to deliver the pizza, want to deliver the Chinese food. The tip always makes the difference. In rideshare, with the way we do it, you don't need the tip. And it's funny because when Uber first started, this dude even said they were charging so much and paying drivers so well, there was no need to tip. Now, people are driving for $3.04 in big black trucks like mine.
Unlike Uber, who was focused on procuring private drivers, Lyft focused on ride sharing and carpooling. In other words, they let anyone with a car become a Lyft driver. Uber would of course match this move by offering their own version of this called UberX, which was 35% cheaper, and this officially set off the race to the bottom. As a low-margin business to begin with, it didn't take long for Uber and Lyft to reach the bottom, and let's just say they didn't stop there. In their quest for maximum market share, Uber and Lyft would go beyond the bottom, aka they would begin subsidizing rides heavily. The idea was that once people got hooked and they won the market, they could just increase prices. Fast forward 12 years and ride-sharing has become a lot more expensive, but neither Lyft nor Uber has become any more profitable, which brings us to the fundamental problem with all of these ride-hailing businesses.
Expenses. But this is what we talk about on this channel all the time. They're charging riders more, paying drivers less, generating this huge profit margin in the middle. We've already said this shit is like racketeering. So where do you think the money's going? If they're charging people more, paying drivers less, still not turning certain profit margins, where do you think the money is going? We've always said this shit's like racketeering, money laundering. There's a lot of crime embedded in here. A lot of lobbyists are getting paid. A lot of politicians are getting their palms greased and shit like that. Where do you think all this money is going? If they're charging people so much more than what they used to, paying drivers way worse than what they've ever had. We're not stupid. We know math. The numbers are right there. When you're getting, just like Mikey said, asked for 75 for 25 miles, got 90 with the tip. And check this out, Mikey. If I'd have took that black ride on Lyft, and that was a $50 ride. That was a $50 ride that was sent to me. I guarantee them people paid over $100 for that ride. I guarantee it. That was a $50 ride they sent to me. So you ended up getting exactly what I would probably ask for a 25-mile ride. I'm like, dude, you got to give me at least, $80, $100, something like that, because I got to turn around and come back. You can't just give me $50 and be like, hey, here's $50, Jeff, for 25 miles. You can get 90. You just got 90 for the same offer I got for 50. Why do you think people want to do private rides? When I say they're doing us worse on the black tiers, when they're doing us worse on the upper tiers, this is what I'm talking about. These people are paying $100, $105, $110 for these rides. She felt she probably got a discount by giving you $90. She probably said, damn, here you go. She probably got a discount. Or she just felt real happy and said, I'm going to pay you exactly what I was paying this app. I guarantee with that ride, they were paying over $100. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, I'm not doing no 25-mile rides for no $50. Doubt it. I would just convert it like that. That's how we doing the 300, baby. Here we go. When tech doesn't scale.
One of the primary reasons that tech has become so profitable over the past decade is thanks to how well it scales. Back in the 80s and 90s, most tech companies had physical products, whether it was chips, computers, TVs, telephones, servers, modems, etc. But moving into the 2000s, we saw the rise of pure software companies like Google, Facebook, Salesforce, Adobe, and so on. These companies were able to serve unprecedented numbers of people. In fact, WhatsApp only needed 50 engineers to scale to 900 million users. That basically means that each engineer was able to serve 18 million customers.
Damn.
This unprecedented leverage is what allows software companies to scale so fast and be so profitable.
Yep.
But when it comes to companies like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Instacart, there's not much engineering efficiency. For every single ride, you still need a driver. It's not like one driver is suddenly able to serve 18 million customers with the help of Uber. The fundamental mechanics of the taxi business were still the same. All Uber was really solving was the hassle of getting a taxi and paying for one. And to solve this issue, they employ over 30,000 people. I should also note that most of these guys are Bay Area engineers, earning multiple six figures or even seven figures. So how do you pay for all these engineers when you're already losing money on every single ride? Well, the answer is dilution, some more dilution, and then even more dilution. I'm not even exaggerating. Every employee's compensation is purely thanks to dilution. Base salary and bonus are paid for using investor capital, which dilutes the company. In fact, can you guess how much money Uber has raised over the years? Maybe 1 billion, 2 billion, or 5 billion? Well, the answer is 25.2 billion.
Okay.
And that's just the cash that was raised. Uber was able to avoid raising even more cash by paying out billions in stock-based compensation. Last year alone, Uber paid out nearly $2 billion in stock comp, and over the years, they've paid out more than $10 billion in stock comp. In other words, Uber has experienced well over $35 billion worth of dilution over the years. Today, Uber is worth $137 billion, but compared to what was put in, That's not even a 4x, as opposed to some sort of 10,000 or 20,000x return, a true testament to just how poorly Uber has scaled.
Yep.
And that makes perfect sense when you consider that Uber was expanding supply by letting anyone be a driver and subsidizing rides to maximize market share. They were essentially burning the candle from both ends, and then came Uber Eats, which just accelerated the burn even more. From a theoretical standpoint, food delivery platforms like Uber Eats and DoorDash seem like a cool concept. You can basically turn any restaurant into a delivery restaurant. But there's a reason that not every restaurant is a delivery restaurant. It takes shrewd economics and perfect logistics to make delivery-based restaurants work. When you just go around connecting random customers with random drivers with random restaurants, you introduce an extraordinary amount of friction and overhead.
Exactly.
Customers end up paying more than ever.
And that's what I say about rideshare, though. I say about rideshare, you can't just match all drivers with riders. That's why, like on the rideshare guy, when I saw this guy saying he had 100% AR, you can't match with every rider. I'm sorry. The price ain't there. The attitude's not there. The vibe's not there. There's no reason for any one of us to be 100% AR. No reason. The only reason somebody's 100% AR is because they don't understand this is a business. They don't understand this is independent contracting. They don't understand that you are a owner operator of a business. You cannot take 100% of the contracts that come across your table. If you do pools, if you paint houses, if you build walls, you cannot take 100% of the contracts that come across your desk because they're all not profitable. 100% of them, you're taking losses. And you think, oh, I'm taking losses on all this, but guess what? I made gains on the back end. And guess what? It's losing money. Because if you're breaking zero, if you're netting zero, that means you're doing all this shit for nothing. Well, I'm going to just take loss. Now I'm going to take gain. Now net those together. What do you end up with? Damn, zero. Yeah, so you did all that shit for nothing. That's my point. Somebody with 100% AR, they don't understand business. They're employer minded. I got to stay busy. I need something to do. Send me a ride. I need a ride. Send me a ride. That's what those people do with 100% AR, 95%, 90% AR. You're not thinking about the business. And Uber loves people like that because they say, hey, we could just match this person with anybody. He'll take them, send them any price. Hey, $4 ride. Woo. But yet what we got up here, we got Mikey out there doing $90 for 25 miles, $90 for 25 miles. Mikey's not going to work with every customer. Mikey's going to have the lowest AR to everybody because Mikey's like, if I'm not getting $2, $3 a mile, I'm not fucking with it. And the apps are not sending him $2, $3 a mile. So he's going to be doing something different than what a 100% AR person is doing. 100% AR, oh, they're not making no money. They're taking losses. Ooh, they made a gain. That's a net zero. And that's what the apps want. Just like what Joe was saying, they want to give you $6 rides for $3. They want to give you $6 rides for $4. But in the end, they're going to give you a higher ride all of a sudden. And in the end, it's going to turn around and you're going to net zero. You're not winning anything. You just netted zero. Oh, yeah, it should be a software on demand for independent drivers as it is, pure scam. And we should have the right to counter negotiate. If we can't counter negotiate and offer rides, if somebody says, hey, man, how much you pay for this ride? Oh, $42. Well, damn, I'm only getting like $17 on this ride. You paid $42? Yeah. So you sold me like a slave for $42, but you're giving me $17 for going 18 miles. But you charge these people $42 for going 18 miles. So you charge them $3 a mile. You charge them $3 a mile, $18, $3 a mile. Cool. We'll charge them like $44 or something like that. But yet we're going to get 17. This is why the apps don't work, man. They don't work. So when this guy's saying 100% of the customers can't deal with 100% of the drivers, anybody with 100% AR out there, listen, you're fucking up your own career when it comes to ride sharing gig work. There is no reason to have 100% AR. You're bragging, and yeah, 100%, motherfucker, this ain't elementary school where you get 100% on a quiz. This is rideshare. The lower your AR is, the higher the driver you are. Your score is higher because you're a smarter driver, more analytical driver. You're not just taking bullshit. The higher your score is, 100%, 90%, the more of an idiot you seem to be. You're like, yeah, look, I'm 100% AR. Yeah, I'm fucking 100%. What do you got, bro? I'm like, man, I got like 6%. Oh, you better, I'm 94% better than you. No, actually, you're 94% worse than me. This is rideshare. This is not fucking spelling. This is rideshare. You do not want to be close to 100%. Trust me on that one. And these guys, they don't get it yet. They don't get it yet.
Restaurants end up earning less than ever. Platforms like Uber and DoorDash end up burning all of their money on expansion engineers, and drivers get paid next to nothing. Yep. In other words, even though customers are paying a crap ton, no one ends up winning because all the money is just burned on convenience. Yep. The bottom line is that not all app-based businesses scale the same way, and there's no better example than Uber.
Yep.
None of Uber's current struggles are really a surprise. In fact, many investors foresaw these problems from day one, like Mark Cuban. Fun fact, Mark was actually an investor in one of Travis's previous businesses called Red Swoosh. So when Travis started working on Uber, Mark was one of the first people that he brought the idea to.
Baby.
He offered Mark the opportunity to invest at a $10 million valuation, and Mark passed due to 3 reasons. Number 1, he was concerned about taxi regulations and pushback from local cities and governments. Number 2, he was concerned about the economics of the business and profitability. And number 3, he felt like he'd be diluted into oblivion trying to make this business work.
Mark Cuban is smart. He's smart because he saw ahead that this was going to become a criminal empire. It was going to, thank you, my brother Jamil. Appreciate the super chat, brother. See, Mark Cuban knew that it was going to become a criminal empire. Uber is constantly in courts, paying restitution, settling, having settlements left and right, getting lawsuits over constitutional stuff, over, different things between drivers and riders, between the riders and the apps and drivers. Mark Cuban knew there's no way you guys can come in and do what you're talking about doing without this becoming a shit show. There's no way possible. He was right. He was 100 because they offered him a chance to get in when it first started. He was like, nope, not dealing with it.
And guess what? All 3 of them ended up happening. And those are just the fundamental issues with Uber. That's not even touching on due to 3 reasons. Number 1, he was concerned about taxi regulations and pushback from local cities and governments. Number 2, he was concerned about the economics of the business and profitability. And number 3, he felt like he'd be diluted into oblivion trying to make this business work. And guess what? All 3 of them ended up happening. And those are just the fundamental issues with Uber, and it's not even touching on Travis's antics or Uber's shady history of spying at parties or harassment. Still, Mark does regret not investing given that he would have made a killing despite all of that. Looking forward though, the direction of Uber is a lot less clear. Sooner or later, Uber is going to have to put up solid earnings to justify their sky-high valuation of $137 billion. At a PE ratio of 20, Uber would need $6.85 billion worth of net income to justify their valuation. And unsurprisingly, they're nowhere close to this figure. At their current net margin of 3.6%, Uber would need to grow their revenues to $190 billion to take home $6.85 billion. For perspective, their current annual revenues stand at just under $40 billion, so we're talking about a 5x from here. Alternatively, Uber can work on growing their net margin from 3.6% to 17%. The most realistic path, though, would be to grow both revenue and margins to something like a 10% margin at revenue of 50 to 70 billion. But this is naturally far easier said than done. The problem is that Uber is an extremely complicated platform, especially compared to their tech peers, because there are so many moving parts. They're not just a virtual messaging platform or a photo or video sharing platform. Uber has to deal with the global map, the live GPS location of over 6 million drivers and 150 million users, surge pricing, routing, customer, driver, and restaurant onboarding, and who knows what else. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Who knows what else? They got to deal with the 300. That's what they got to deal with, the 300, because we coming for our money. See, they talk about all this other extraneous crap. What they don't talk about is drivers realizing you don't want us to become an employee. You don't want to pay us benefits. You don't want to give us retirement, and you don't want to pay us. All of that is a calculation for, we need to get smart. If we in this industry and we building this industry on our backs, then we need to get paid for it. Private rides. Go out and get your own commercial insurance. Go out and get your own permits. Go out, see what you can do. Like I said, a lot of us don't even have all of that shit. A lot of us don't even have all of that. And we still out here doing pretty amazing shit with these rides. We're doing it out here. We're actually surviving. Like I said, I made it through the summer. Mainly private rides, because y'all just saw how slow that was. That's what it's been like all summer. 3.5 hours I was sitting on that app. 3.5. One ride came through. That's $15 an hour I'm being paid. If I'm looking at a time basis, that's $15 an hour if I'm really sitting around waiting on that money. But you know what happened? I turned that on earlier before I even went and did my airport rides, and I forgot about it because I went and did my airport rides, did all this and totally spaced it. Didn't even know it was still on. That's how long it was. It didn't ding the whole time. I turned on Uber. It was pinging with UberX and XL. I turned that shit off. Totally forgot Lyft was even on. But if they want to know what is the problem with the industry, how come they can't make it? How come they can't make the 300? That's why they can't make it. There's no way more than the 6 million drivers. What? There might be way more. Well, there's way more than 6 million because there's a lot of people buying and selling accounts right now. There's way more than 6 million drivers. Man, they out there doing it. So Jeff, I'm telling you, it's for the private rides this summer would have killed me. It would have really killed me. Oh yeah, man. Because these apps, I mean, with the airport, us not getting the good stuff at the queue that we normally get in airports, the issues with all the queue up in Scottsdale, the issue with the way downtown is working, how they close up all the service and everything. This summer, we said this was going to be the year of the cash rides, and we've been doing cash rides all year. Cars still outside, everything's still intact. Nothing's fucking totaled. Nobody in court, nobody in jail. And all these people, oh, you need to stop doing that. You need to stop. Please, we've been doing it all year. Had we let the apps pushed us to the point of being pigeons, we'd be out here in big black trucks right now doing $3.04 rides in big black trucks, getting these trucks beat up. You know how many rides you got to do to make $90 when you're getting $3.04? You know how many rides you got to do? You got to do 30 rides. And you better hope somebody gives you a tip. You got to do 30 rides at $3 to get $90, or be like Mikey, do one ride, 25 miles, get $90. You got a choice to make. And I don't think Uber really banked on us waking up and saying, hey, you know what? What if we just talk directly to the rider? And riders are cool with it. They're like, oh shit, your car's clean. I like your person. I like your style. Damn, they only giving you $18 out of this ride. Tell you what, I'll give you $60. And they'll do it. Because you'd be like, damn, leaving the airport, they're paying $74, $74. And we're getting 18 out of the 74. They're like, dude, I'll give you $60. All right, bet, let's go. And we do it, man, and we do it. And that's how we've been making it.
In fact, that's why Uber consists of 4,500 stateless microservices that are updated more than 100,000 times by 4,000 engineers every single week. For context, something like Netflix only requires a fourth of the microservices because there's a lot less moving parts. And that's just the engineering side of things. Uber also has to worry about driver safety and driver liability protection and not accidentally starting a movement against themselves. The bottom line is that Uber is an engineering and a capital-heavy operation in an extremely low-margin business. And keep in mind, to keep growing, Uber would need to post numbers even better than that. And also, just because they post bigger numbers doesn't mean that they're any more stable. Uber's bottom line will still be at the mercy of even the smallest of fluctuations within the ride-sharing and food delivery markets. And that is why Uber is one of the most fragile tech companies in the entire world. If you're interested in having companies pay you, check out our bond investing platform, Silo, in the description below. But until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yep, and that channel right there, what was that channel I saw that on? That was Logically Answered, Logically Answered. I'll have that in there too. But yeah, that's why Uber is so fragile. I wanted to do that video too. It's so fragile because they're not taking into consideration the point of ingenuity that all of us hit. We knew we weren't going to get paid well. We knew we were putting people in our back seat, and we're all frowned up, getting $19 damn for 18 miles. Damn, $19, man. Why the hell am I doing this? I'm beating myself up for $19. Why the hell? Bruh, the person is sitting right behind you. Just say, hey, man, I'm only getting $19 for this real shit. I'm only getting $19. I tell you what, man, I'll do this for $50. Oh, you do it for $50? Oh, well, that's cool, because we were complaining the price was $72, and we're like, man, $72 is a lot. You'll do it for $50? Yeah, we'll do it for $50. That's what Uber didn't bank on. Us talking to the people in the back seat, us generating a relationship with people, us handing out business cards, us going into places like me and Jim, I'm management. We walk in, we talk to people. They weren't banking on that. They were banking on how much can we rip these people off to make them more desperate. We are not their employees. When people start seeing that, your AR don't matter, your cancels don't matter, all of this shit they telling you and feed you on a TOS, All that shit's illegal. It's void and voidable. They even tell you it's voidable when they say, hey, we as Uber as the party, we can take away your insurance at any time without written notice. We can deactivate you at any time without written notice. That makes the terms of service voidable. I have a whole video on it. Once they tell you this contract is voidable, that means you can participate in that as well. You can say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to do something different. I don't want to sit here and complain about being paid $19 for 25 miles. Hey, you know what? I'm going to talk to this lady. Hey, how bad you got to get there? Because I'm only getting $19. I'll do it for $50. You know what? Let's do it. Actually, I do this ride twice a week. Me, when I pick up my doctors and stuff like that from the airport, I'm 2-3 times a week. I got to pick up his wife. I got to pick him up whenever her and her moms travel, stuff like this. So I'm always picking somebody in his family up. I keep my book open. I don't sit there and play. And I like to say thank you to my man, Jamil. I hit up Janine. She hit me back today. She said they got 4 people going. The price I told her, the round trip price I gave her, she was solid with it. She was like, cool. Jamil hooked me up with this private ride, going from Ahwatukee to the concert and back, going to the Def Leppard concert and back. So when he said, hey, text her, let her know you want to do the ride. They have up to 6. She's got 4 confirmed so far, but they got 6 people she's going with. She locked it in today. She says, hey, the price is solid. We got 4 right now going. We're still going to use you even if us 4 go. But hey, I think I got 2 more coming. I'll let you know. That's how we work out here as the 300. And just like today, Jamil, I'm gonna tell this story, Jamil. I know you probably gonna start laughing like a motherfucker right now. You probably gonna start laughing right now, but I'm gonna tell what happened yesterday. You cool with that? If you cool with that, say yes in the chat. Just say yes in the chat if you cool with me telling the story about what happened yesterday. I'm not gonna tell the shitty part. I'll tell the part that everybody needs to know. This is why we're a team out here. All right. He said yes. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. This is why you got to have a team. If you don't have a team, you're not going to make it in this game. And I'm 100% believe it. And yesterday taught me that. So Jamil hits me up. Phone rings. Hey, what's up? What's up, man? Shit, just sitting there chilling. And this is Jamil calling me. I need your help. I'm like, what happened, dude? Man, I don't know, but I got 2 clients landing at the airport at the exact same time. They're both landing at the exact same time. I was like, wow. He says, yeah, man. It's just weird how it happens like that. My clients are always coming into town and I don't leave them hanging. So I was like, I'll take them. Okay, message the lady. I message the lady, let her know. Cool. Then Tyler's like, all right, cool. So message him or she messaged him. Everything's set. My truck, they know everything. Jamil's like, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you just helping me out. I'll see you at the airport because I'll be there too. Because both of my clients are landing at the same time. I was like, cool. I'll see you at the airport. Check this shit out. This is how it works. This is how life works when you got a team. Time is coming. I say, cool. Now I was out earlier, get home, clean the truck down, wipe it all down. Perfect. Now I can tell y'all about this because the client's not here. The client ain't here. So I can tell y'all about it because we're all drivers. We all on the same team. I don't mind sharing. And Jamil said yes. He said yes. So I'm gonna say the story. So I'm right by the airport. I time my shit perfectly every time. No problem whatsoever. I get in the truck, fire the truck up. Let's go pick this up. Let's go make this fucking money. Man, let's go make this money. He said, man, oh man, very true. So I said, let's go make this money and head to the airport. Jamil calls me. I'm like, what's up, Jamil? I said, hey, I just fired the truck up, man. I'm on my way right now. And he was like, oh man, that's crazy. He said, dude, I just got up here to Terminal 3. And he says, man, check this shit out. He says, my client, his flight is postponed for like another 3 hours almost. I says, what's this? Yeah, man. So I'm just sitting up here now. And I was like, damn, well, that's fucked up, man. He says, yeah. He said, but I said, well, I'm headed up there to pick up your other client right now. And he was like, oh, cool. Come on. He said, I'll talk to you when you get here. I was like, all right, bet. I'll talk to you when I get there. He said, y'all just have to hang out for a couple hours and wait to my client. So I come down Road, I hit the corner. As soon as I hit 48th Street, a gazillion construction cones, construction trucks, cars backed up, all lanes, every direction. Nobody can go down 143. It's all pure dirt, mounds of fucking rocks. They got the whole highway torn up, Broadway in both directions. I'm just like, Jamil, I hate to tell you this, but you're going to have to take your own client. He says, what happened? I said, bro, I ain't going nowhere right now, man. I said, I'm just sitting in traffic, dog. I said, dude, as soon as I hit that light and I made that left turn, it was all I see is a sea of brake lights for as far as I could see, bro. I said, I'm not going to make it to the airport, man. I'm not making it to the airport. He was like, oh, he says, dude, you can make it. He says, dude, I tell you what, just see if you can. I said, I'm telling you, Broadway is jammed up. I can't make it, man. I said, I can probably make it to the light, but it's going to take me 20 minutes just to get to the light. I got to be at the airport in 20 minutes. I'm going to be at the light in 20 minutes. I said, dude, I can't make it. He was like, damn. I said, dude, I said, and it's fine. I said, can you do me a favor? I said, can you take your client back? This is how we help each other. I was like, bro, I was there for him. I'm doing 11-11, baby. That's what it is. 11-11, man. That number right there, that 11-11, the universe, man. So I'm sitting there. I'm trying to help him out. So I said, I'm going to clear my plate. I'm going to help your client. I'm going to clear my plate. You need your client? Cool. Nobody can call me. I got your client locked in. I'm doing it. Hit that corner. Hey, can you take your client back? So it just so happened that his client, they was both around the same time, got delayed 2-3 hours. His flight got delayed. So it left him sitting there. I'm sitting at least 5 miles away in traffic. I am not getting through traffic. I'm just like, wow. So I talked to him the whole time on the phone. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry about that, man. I said, dude, I had no idea. I was out earlier today. It says, take your client back. Unbelievable. I know. I was like, bro, they did not have this early. This is how fast traffic does this. Oh, what up, my man? This is Kodak saying, Alicia says, hi, flat boots. What's Y'all wild out there in Vegas, man. Y'all wild out there. Flat boots, man. That's a whole nother story right there. That's my man David right there, man. That's my guy right there, David. And he's a fitness trainer too. That's my guy. And this girl's Alicia, his wife Alicia. About some flat boots said hi. Flat boots is a long story from a long time ago. We was going to Blue Martini. That was our clubbing days back in the day. Man. No, but for Jamil though, man, it was just like I was like, there's no way this is all happening exactly how it's happening right now. I'm here to help out my man Jamil. I'm headed to go pick up his client. I hit the corner, traffic backed up to there's no way I'm getting through. I cannot get to the airport. There's no way possible. His client calls, hey, my flight's delayed for 3 hours. He's already sitting there. There's no way I can fight through this traffic even if I wanted to. Everything worked out perfectly. It was the perfect screw up on all boards. The airport screwed up, had his guy canceling. The Phoenix shut down all these roads everywhere. It was traffic. Nobody knew what to do. We was honking horns. People was U-turning, doing crazy shit. I was like, it was the perfect storm, man. Perfect storm. David said, yep. Man, she was like, man, I need those boots. No, you don't. Shit. Them flat boots. Like, shit, I'm gonna wear them flat boots to the club. Man. But no, man, it's like, yeah, Jamil, man, that was perfect. And that's why you need a team. If you're going to be driving, you need a team. And you need a team that can be very versatile and very flexible, because there was no way that it was going to happen. There was no way it was happening. If I didn't agree to help him with his clients, he would have 2 clients at the airport at the same time. And he'd be sitting there. If he was a solo driver with no team, he'd be sitting at the airport with 2 clients. Like, what the hell can I do? I don't know nobody. But he reached out a long time ago. We all reached out to each other. We all formed a cool network so we can all help each other out. We became the 300 out here. And it's like, dude, we can do this together. Call me, I'll be there. But then it turned around and he's like, man, I'm like, dude, you got to help me now. I know I promised I was going to help you, but you have to just take your client back. This one time, I'll never ask you again to take your client back. But bro, you got to help me, man, because I do not want to, because I had already texted the people. The people already knew who I was. They knew my truck. They knew everything. I'm not showing up 45 minutes late for the first time I ever meet these people trying to help Jamil out. Hell no. I'm like, bro, I'll never do this again. I'll swear I'll always be on time. I'll always peep out traffic an hour before. Forget this 20, 30 minutes before, because I'm right by the airport. It takes me like 15 minutes to get to the terminal. I left like 30 minutes in advance, and it's like, there's no way I can get through. So like I said, we help each other out, man. I was helping him. He turned around and helped me back. So I was like, man, it works out like that, man. It works out like that. Never again, man. I was like, I know your client was like, I was expecting Jeff. Where's Jeff at? He had diarrhea. Man, fucker, don't lie on me. Don't tell nobody no shit like that. He had diarrhea. Yeah. He's at Circle K right now. Oh, wow. Hope he feels better tomorrow. It's like, don't lie on me, motherfucker. No. Well, that's my man David right there. Kodak is my man David. Now, thing about Kodak, check this out. Long time ago, it was me, him, his wife, and I think I was married at the time. I don't know if I was married at the time. Well, I probably was. To her friend, Jen. That's who it was. Jenny Barola, motherfucking ass. So, and we were all going to a club. So we was going to a club. So we decided to, park far so we can walk past all the stores. So we want to pay for parking. So we walking past all the stores and everything. And we checking out. Yeah, exactly. He said, Jenny. That's it. So we walking past all the shops and we see this big ass window with these like mannequins and shit behind it. And we like cracking up laughing. These mannequins was all, they looked at it like that breaking lady from the Olympics and shit. They was all like this. And one of them motherfuckers had some flat boots. Like everybody wearing heels and nice heels. And this mother had some flat ass boots. Like it was like a pancake was the sole of that shit. We was like, Alicia, you need them right there. I say, shit. Alicia, she put on fucking 6-inch heels. Alicia becomes like 6'4". She's towering over everybody with them heels on, walking into the club with her heels on. She like 6'4". We like, hey, you need to get them flat boots. Come down to planet Earth. We was like, man, you're gonna be walking on the moon with those motherfuckers. We was clowning on them flat boots. It was like, girl, you're gonna be on the moon walking and shit. You'll be doing the moonwalk on fucking Neptune with them big ass fucking flat boots. Like, oh yeah, motherfucker, oh yeah. And that's where she get the flat boots from. That's just like, man, that shit was so funny. We were laughing the whole way to the club about them damn flat boots. Hey, David, you should have bought them for her. Just as a crank gift one day. You should have just bought them for her, man. That shit would have been funny as hell. She would have opened up some Christmas gifts. You did not buy me them damn boots. Start moonwalking and shit. We going to Neptune. Them fucking flat boots. Man, that shit was funny as hell. I know it, man. That shit was so funny, dude. We were crying, laughing. We couldn't even we were in line. Like we had already been clubbing. We were laughing so hard. We was like, we already went out clubbing already. All night we was clowning on them flat boots. And we never let her live that shit down forever. We was like, what up with them flat boots? Shit. Man, that shit was funny. She was like, shit, I'm gonna wear those. I'm getting those. She is like, yeah, you need to get them flat boots. Ain't nobody got those. That's one of a kind. That's styling. And I think back then I used to wear these they was like some almost all black like biker boots all the time. I would wear those boots all the fucking times. Everybody used to fuck with me about my boots. We talking about Alicia getting some flat boots. Like, you should get you some flat boots. That shit was funny as hell. Boy, them was the days though, man. We used to crack up back then. Them was the days, man. Shit, I gotta come out to Vegas in September. My man Alex and Erica, they moving up to Carson City. And they already said, hey, man, we moving up to Carson. So this is it. You're going to see us now. We're going to be up by Tahoe and Reno. So I'm going to have to drive in town. I said I might fly. I might just fly in town. But, man, it'll be good to come by and see y'all, man. Real shit. It's been years, man. I think I've been to St. Louis. Now I'm in Phoenix. Man, I ain't seen you in that long, brother. I ain't seen you in that long. It's been a lot. I see you on the Instagram all the time. Now, I told y'all he's like a super fitness guy. So he's the guys that you see when he does, when you do the pull-up, you pull yourself with the pull-up bar, then you push yourself up from there. I used to give him shit about that all the time. Like, dude, there's no way in hell. I've been to snap my elbow trying some shit like that. It's like, bro, how are you doing that? Man, just lean and strong as hell, man. Like, whoop, 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 whoop. You need to be doing TikToks with that shit, man. Like, nah, motherfucker, I do one swing, crack. You're like, this dude is laying in the sand. It's like, motherfucker, my arm don't work no more. I'm just stuck down here now. Man, miss you too, brother. Hey, when I get, like I said, it'll be September when they leave, about September the 10th. So I'm gonna come in like a few days before that, just to spend a few days out in Vegas or whatever, cruising with them. But man, definitely, man. It'll be fun to hang out again, man. Like I said, I don't kick it that hard like I used to back in the day. You know, I don't drink that much. I just kind of drive a lot, do shit, but it'll be cool to kick back, man. We can barbecue at the house. How about that? We'll have a mic drop barbecue. I'll bring this whole setup. We'll bring a microphone and shit down. We'll do a live stream at the house. We live streaming. You live with the flat boots on FM 105. You can win you a free set of flat boots. Be the 25th caller right now at 785. They'll be like, oh, I'm finna win them flat boots. Shit, motherfucker hitting the speed dial. I'm gonna hit them flat boots. Man, yeah, wow. Cool, brother. What Daytona say, what up, sir? I played to the barbecue. I bought cornbread with corn cake. Cornbread with some beans on the side, some beets. What you got? Some beets and some yams? Man, that's wild. Oh, man, this was a good live stream, man. It was only like 2 hours, though. It was a good live stream. We went over a lot. We watched a couple of videos. We got my man Joe. Like I said, we played his video earlier, and he's over at what? Lake? I forgot the channel name already. Lake something, but films. I think it's something Lake, but we played his videos earlier. And I mean, he 10-year OG driver, 10-year OG driver. And this dude knows a lot about the industry, man, up and down. And even though we're playing like all the other videos of Uber and stuff, he calls everything just like it is, man. And we're just trying to ramp up so drivers can get out there and make this money this fall, especially for football season, man. There's going to be a lot of people out there that don't want to pay these surge prices, don't want to pay these event prices and all that these apps are going to be throwing out there. So we got to make ourselves available to say, hey, we'll be there. I tell you what, $100 for the whole party. Cool. $100 for the whole party. Like Jamil set me up with that ride. I mean, I got to take somebody to Def Leppard and back. And I'm sitting there like, man, I'm like, and I know they're going to be surging like crazy. And they don't stay too far from me. I just got to go from there to downtown. And I'm like, cool. I said, I'll tell you what, 6 people. She said, well, we got 4 right now. I said, okay, 6. I'll tell you what, $175. No, I said 150 round trip, $75 each way. Lady was like, cool, that'll work for me. That'll work for me. So therefore, I already got my ride for next Friday to get me downtown. So $75 get me downtown. Then I'll pluck some rides while they at the concert, do a bunch of short rides. Then after my short rides are done, I got to be back at the concert to bring them back home. After the concert, then I'm done for the night. I can even go by Sandbar because it's a Friday night. I can go by Sandbar, go to all the bars all through Ahwatukee, all through Chandler, and just do rides. But that's my only private ride for the night because I want to keep my plate clean. I don't like to rush around because, like I said, traffic, you saw what happened to me and Jamil. I kept everything wide open and still got held up. Private riding is scary, man. It's like everything. We had it down to a science. We was both, and we always show up at the airport at the same time anyway. We had it down to a science. And Phoenix killed me, man. Phoenix just, they shut the 143, screwed up Broadway. His airlines canceled his people. They was coming in late. It was all screwed up, man. It was the perfect screw up. It was actually the perfect screw up. The way it worked, it was perfect. Man, I hit that light. I was like, damn. I was mad as hell when I hit that corner because I was like, I hate to do this to you, bro, but can you do me a favor? Can you like take your client back just this one time? Just take him back. It's like, cool shit. Okay, let's go. But hey, that's sometimes we got to do that, man. I do not like to leave people at the airport waiting. Nope, I'm not doing it. So, man, Daytona, you got to go watch this on replay. Fantastic info and share videos. Jeff just keeps bringing all the smoke together. Like I said, we be cooking over here, man. And these apps, this is what they didn't bank on. They didn't bank on drivers actually unifying in thought. Like I said, we're like a unified collective consciousness, and we out here trying to get money the way we know how. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to keep our cars clean. We're going to keep them running right. We're not going to let them beat our cars up for pennies on a dollar when we're the ones giving the rides and they're just the tech. They should get a finder's fee like Expedia or anybody else. They shouldn't get the whole plane ticket. If you buy something on Expedia and the plane ticket is like $200, they don't give the plane like $40 out of it and they take the $160. Expedia don't do that. They get a finder's fee. So I don't know how Uber came to the point where they're taking the higher cut of the money, giving the drivers nothing, and we're the ones with the major equipment. Like I said, we got all these cars. I had to pay insurance today. $710 for all these cars. Insurance is killing me. $710 for all these cars. But it's like they make good money, though. These cars can make that money. I can make $710 in a day, but it's got to be a smashing day, though. That's why I had to make it through the summer. I only had to pay $710 like June, July, August. So $2,100 in 3 months. I've made more than $2,100 in 3 months. So I'm cool with the insurance. I'm not, but I can't do that shit forever. I can't have slow times like this forever. So September has to pick up. Rest of August might do well, but September has to be on point. Got to do well in September. Because we got to start building that savings back up because when the summer comes back around, we're broke again, man. We're broke again. So right now I'm kind of like, funding my whole lifestyle off of like savings. And I'm happy when people, you guys hit me up with them super chats, because this is getting me through the summer, doing these live streams, chatting with you guys, keeping us together, keeping us focused on going forward. It's keeping us in the game, basically. And once like I said, once the football season hits, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. These apps gonna have hell. The 300 is here now. The 300 is here. They're gonna have hell, and they're gonna be like, man, we not making as much as we thought we would make this year. They didn't make a lot in the second quarter. Even after let's take a look at Lyft stock real quick. While we here real quick, let's see what Lyft is actually doing, because I haven't really looked at it today yet. Oh, let's see where we at. Let me open this up some. All right, let me share this screen with you guys real quick. Yeah, we back in the building. Here. All right, there we go. So Lyft is at 1081. See, 5 days ago they were at 1007. 5 days ago they were at 1007. They dropped, and now they're at 1081. Now, I told you guys they were going to drop down to $10 a share and climb back up to 12. They dropped right here on August the 7th. They went down to $9.08. And I think they even went lower than that in the past month. They went to like $8.90 or something weird like that in the last month. But I said they're going to, because they were sitting at 12 something back in July. They were like 12.30. They were right here. It was 12.38 on the 24th. And I said they're going to drop to $10 and build back up to 12. They went all the way down to 9, and now they're back up to 1081. So they're slowly trying to make a run for it. So right now they're sitting in after hours. They're still at 1081 right now. So nobody's really doing any crazy trading right now. But wait a minute, is that dip again? I think that's that dip, 1078, 74. No, that's not big enough. And Uber's up to $72. So let's check out Uber real quick. Yeah, they're up to 72. Over the last 5 days, excuse me, they were at 68 last Friday, 68 or 69. So they made about $3. So $3 and what? We said they had 2 billion shares. So about $6 billion in the past week. They've made $6 billion in value. And that's because I think they made $6 billion in value because, yeah, it makes no sense because they're not really, really worth that much. I think they made $6 billion in value because after he did that earnings call and they got all this stuff out talking about we don't think Tesla's, their car's really going to challenge us. Tesla's not ready yet. And that's what Daryl was saying. Elon's not ready yet to get into the rideshare game. I don't think everybody's going to be giving out their Tesla just for, let me see if I can see something. Daryl, Elon, Musk. Let's see something. Yeah, here we go right here. So this is what he's saying. He's saying Uber snubs Elon Musk's idea of Tesla owners renting out their self-driving cars. Tell me if you guys can hear this real quick.
Musk wants customers to be able to rent out their cars while not in use, and claims that Tesla owners could make $30,000 a year by doing so.
Can y'all hear that?
Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi doesn't think Tesla will have enough taxis to meet peak demand. Khosrowshahi also thinks most Tesla owners won't want their car driven by a complete stranger. Although he doesn't think Tesla is there quite yet, Khosrowshahi told the Logan Bartlett Show podcast that he hopes Tesla will be one of Uber's partners one day.
See, let's play that back. Let's play that back. Wait a minute. Let's go backwards. Come on, thing. Okay, I'm going to play that back again. Come on, thing. Where are you going? All right, here we go. Yeah, and this was, like I said, this was just 2 days ago. All right, here we go right here again. Let's do it again.
Uber CEO is casting doubt on Elon Musk's vision for Tesla.
Oh, you suck. They throwing an ad in there. Wait a minute. Let's see if this ad stops because we got 5 seconds to go. I can't stand these people, man.
Uber CEO is casting doubt on Elon Musk's vision for Tesla owners to rent out their self-driving cars. Musk wants customers to be able to rent out their cars while not in use, and claims that Tesla owners could make $30,000 a year by doing so. But Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi doesn't think Tesla will have enough taxis to meet peak demand. Khosrowshahi also thinks most Tesla owners won't want their car driven by a complete stranger. Although he doesn't think Tesla is there quite yet, Khosrowshahi told the Logan Bartlett Show podcast that he hopes Tesla will be one of Uber's partners one day.
He ain't gonna be one of Uber's partners. He don't care about y'all. Let's see. This was 6 days ago. The Logan Bartlett Show right here. This was 6 days ago.
If robots are twice as good a driver or 3 times as good a drivers as humans, that's good for society going forward. But I honestly don't know if society is ready to accept that.
So it might need to be 100 times better or something.
It might.
Welcome to the Logan Bartlett Show. On this episode, what you're going to hear is a conversation I had with CEO of Uber, Dara Khosrowshahi. If this is your first time tuning in,
well, I guess there's a lot of recession fear.
Let's see what Dara has to say.
The markets right now, and you guys are kind of a bellwether for economic activity, at least in some ways. Was there anything that came out of the earnings or what you're seeing in the data that maybe foots with concerns or optimism?
I think we're not seeing any signs in terms of the weakening of the consumer. And, you know, we're a pretty big service that about 40 billion in gross bookings, and the growth rate of bookings has been about 21% for the last this quarter, last quarter as well. Profitability continues to improve. And we've been looking, honestly, based on everything that we read about, looking for signs of weakness. And we just haven't found it yet. Now,
wait. He said they're looking for signs of weakness, but they haven't found it yet. How many of us have been deactivated or told you're not allowed to do airport rides anymore because of cancellations? How many have been told if you keep canceling, we're going to have to deactivate you or throttle you? He's saying they don't see signs of weakness. I'm telling you, every time this dude speaks, he's full of shit. Because he never tells the truth. They are talking about stuff in these boardrooms. They see the numbers. They see the cancels going through the roof. They seeing the acceptance rates tanking to the floor. But he's saying we don't see anything. We see no reason for anything going the wrong way. Yeah, right. This dude, he's so full of it, man. He's so full of it.
Well, I guess there's a lot of recession fear permeating the markets right now. You guys are kind of a bellwether for economic activity, at least in some ways. Was there anything that came out of
we don't see nothing,
the earnings or what you're seeing in the data that maybe foots with concerns or optimism?
I think we're not seeing any signs in terms of the weakening of the consumer. And, we're a pretty big service that
the weakening
of the consumer in gross bookings and the growth rate of bookings has been about 21% for the last
he won't talk about drivers.
Last quarter as well. Profitability continues to improve, and we've been looking, honestly, based on everything that we read about, looking for signs of weakness, and we just haven't found it yet. Now, I personally have a hypothesis, which is coming out of COVID, spend on services continues to grow faster than spend on retail. So if you think about personal consumer expenditures on services versus retail, service spend is still not where it was pre-COVID. So I do think that there is some kind of tailwind as it relates to people going out, people traveling places, still going to concerts, et cetera, that we're benefiting from. And then I do think also the Uber customer tends to be a bit of higher earning consumer, is urban, younger, et cetera. And I think that's definitely benefiting us. And our driver supply now is we've got 7.4 million people earning on the platform, up over 20% on a year-on-year basis. So
but he won't say how many of them are immigrants, though. He's saying they got all these millions on this platform. He won't say how many of them are purchased accounts, fraud accounts, fake accounts with no insurance, accounts with people that don't have driver license. They don't speak in real terms. They speak in rhetoric so much. They've got issues going on with these apps, and they don't want to address the issues. They want to pretend that the issues don't exist. When he's saying that customers are willing to pay more, drivers aren't getting more. They're charging people more, but he's saying in other videos, we're doing away with driver incentives. saying, oh, all these people are now earning on our apps now. All these people are earning money on our apps now. Yet you're paying drivers less incentives and you're charging people more. $33 per utilized hour, 23% higher than a year ago, as Cautious already noted. Yeah, $33 per utilized hour. I mean, I think y'all saw me sitting here for about, 3 hours on Lyft, and I got one ride offer on Lyft. Yeah.
Market where the job market gets weaker, our supply improves. As our supply improves, ETAs come down, surge comes down, service level actually improves. So there's this counter-cyclical element in our business, which is helping us. So I think put it all together, team's executing well. And I think for us, we're definitely continuing to benefit from the spend on services that should continue for some period of time.
Yeah, so he's saying they benefit from it. He don't say the drivers benefit from it. He's saying they, as the apps, we benefit on people willing to spend more on services. This is why you got to go private. This is why you got to make offers out there. They're charging people more. And I'm telling you, just like with Lyft, they're not saying what these people are really paying on the app. They'll say like 34 when the person really paid 42. They'll say something like, oh yeah, they paid $67 for this ride when they paid like 85 for it. People are paying a lot more. The drivers aren't getting any more. They're happy with what they can charge the customers. We're not getting it. This is all for the shareholders. That's what this is all about.
It's great to see, and hopefully that's a indication for the broader economy, although maybe just a discrete data point of a well-run business.
Yeah, and listen, we also look like, what about the higher income consumer versus lower income consumer? And both for a mobility business and our delivery business, the lower income consumer is actually increasing spend faster. And when I listen to some of our partners, when you listen to the news, it seems like the bigger worry is a lower end consumer. We're not seeing it as of yet, and hopefully we won't see it for a while.
So what are you saying is that the more, what I heard from that is when he said the lower end customers are spending more. They're being charged more. They don't have any options. When you deal with rich people have options. Rich people can say, yeah, I'm not paying all that. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to do this. Rich people become our private drivers. That's why you don't see poor people becoming our private clients that much. Poor people, they be like, well, I'm only paying like $13 for this ride. I'm paying $30. Cool. We'll get you a $13 car here. They don't want this big black truck pulling up. They don't want that. They just want a $13 ride. That's all they want. Or they want somebody to take them from that part of town to that part of town for $40. I mean, y'all heard me when I was in my membership group, when I was getting rejected, I had those 2 rejects in there where I was speaking to somebody and they didn't want the ride. What did one dude say? One dude was like, well, that was all the money I put on my card. I don't have no cash on me. That was on my Uber card. I just put all my money on my Uber card. So I can't pay cash or whatever. I gave him my card anyways. He was a young brother. I gave him my cards anyways. But those are the kind of people that Darren and them are chasing. The people who don't have options. Because if somebody has all their money on an Uber card, they can't get it off the Uber card because they don't have any cash in their pockets to do a cash ride. They're not going to try to do a conversion. They're going to be like, no, I just want to leave it on the app. Just like with the girl that was sending her boyfriend home. He wanted to leave it on the app because they didn't have any cash or whatever. When you deal with people that got business cards, company credit cards, you got people with options, they got cash, they're going to be the ones who are going to say, you know what? I like to have a private driver. Hell yeah, let's do it. Because they're not looking for cheap. They're looking for somebody who's going to treat them better for the money they're spending. When you got somebody who's desperate and they don't have no extra money to do nothing, they're going to be stuck on Uber. Their cars broke down. They can't get nowhere. They can't do this. They can't. So those are the people that he's saying we need to hammer on them even harder, because poor people, they're trapped. They have no way out. We got them. They have no way out. And that's one thing I don't like about, and he does the same thing to drivers. Keep drivers poor. Keep them poor. They have no way out. They can't go get another job. We got a ton of drivers. They got to take the rides. This is what it is, man.
The other topic du jour, I guess, as it relates to your business, is autonomous vehicles. Yes. And it's an interesting sort of philosophical debate of where AI is going to go in society. But this has been one we've been talking about for a while. I guess one question at a more philosophical level, what percentage of, or how much more safe do you think autonomous vehicles need to be for people to accept them in society versus a human driver?
Thank you for asking the most difficult question.
It's hard. It's a human. I mean, how many people die in the U.S. by car accidents?
So that's actually where I was going. So about 40,000, over 40,000 people die by car accident per year.
And mostly healthy people. Like,
I haven't measured whether they're healthy or not, but yeah, you would assume that they are.
I looked at a lot of data during COVID.
But that's not 40,000 rideshare people though. That's 40,000 people who don't even know how to drive. You got to understand, we're professional drivers. We're in a class of our own. When we're driving 60,000 miles a year without wrecking, that is the equivalent of somebody driving 5 years with no accidents. We're driving 60,000 miles. Average person drives about 12,000 miles a year. About 12,000 miles a year. So we do 60,000 in 1 year sometimes. That means we can go 5 years worth of driving with no accidents. How many Americans do you know that can drive 5 years straight just going to and from work without having a car accident? That means the whole time they had this car, they had a loan on it. They never wrecked it because most loans are 5 years. They never wrecked this car. He's talking about Americans in general versus autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles are used for livery services. They don't just use them just for the hell of it. They log a lot of miles. We as rideshare drivers, we log a lot of miles. That's who we should be comparing with, apples to apples. Not saying autonomous vehicles plus people who drive only like 13, 14 miles a day to and from work. They're not professional. They don't have enough practice yet. That's like somebody shooting 2 free throws a day, and then we're going to put them in a championship against somebody that shoots 100 free throws a day. The one that shoots 100 free throws is going to be a lot better than the one that only shoots 2 free throws a day. The one that shoots two a day, he probably has days where he don't hit a single free throw because he misses both of them. But if you got somebody that's practicing shooting 100 a day, they're going to have a higher percentage. They're going to have better form. We drive a lot. We know how to move these cars. I don't buy that 40,000 people die in car wreck shit. How many die in like actual Uber wrecks? That's what I want to know.
And you were sort of looking at the driver fall off or people in car accidents versus, others in the population. And I think it was more younger, healthier individuals that didn't have comorbidity or something, right?
Yeah. And they probably, those are the people who get out of the house more often, right?
Totally.
So they travel more, et cetera. So if you do the math, like that's, call it 1,100, 1,200 people dying, probably on a daily basis, 100 to 120 people dying every day, right? As a result of accidents.
Not in rideshare, in rideshare.
If you get into a situation where you have robot drivers that are 10 times better than human drivers, right? On a good day, robot drivers will be responsible for 5 fatalities versus a bad day when they'd be responsible for 20 fatalities. And that's unacceptable, I think, to society, right? And those are robot drivers that are 10 times better than human drivers.
But human drivers that are not professional, though, that's the part that throws me. A lot of us drive, whether it's a trash truck, whether it's, an 18-wheeler, whether it's a FedEx or an Amazon truck, whether it's a rideshare, we are in a different class of driver than somebody who's just driving. Because some people, they just wake up running late, jump in the car, try to get to the office. They got to drive 15 miles to the office. They don't drive 15 miles back home. They may not move the car again. They drive 30 miles a day. They don't move their car that much. We drive 30 miles in just one trip, and we've got about 10 of these trips to do a day. So one of our days of driving is like 10 of their days of driving. We really drive these things, and that's why I don't do his whole, drivers are wrecked so much. Which type of driver? That's what I want to know.
I just think that society accepts human fallibility quite readily, but definitely does not accept, call it robot or companies making mistakes, etc. There's a much, much higher bar. So, logic would dictate that if robots are twice as good a driver or 3 times as good a drivers as humans, that's good for society going forward. But I honestly don't know if society's ready to accept that.
Yeah. So it might need to be 100 times better or something.
It might, but I think that's up to regulators. And I think that kind of ground is yet to be developed. And, ultimately we are going to do whatever regulators think is the right thing. But the safety question is, logic would dictate society letting it happen sooner. But I think that humans are emotional animals and aren't always logical.
Yeah, I think anytime there's a major technological shift or transportation related shift, this happened with trains way back in the day, and it happened with airplanes. And so it's some form of just like social acceptance, and it's terrible to say. Like, we're talking about death, but it's human nature to feel uncomfortable about
100%.
Yeah. Now, is there anything interesting on a usage side or from a behavior standpoint that you've seen in the early data around people using autonomous vehicles?
I think that's what we're seeing is, first of all, never underestimate the power of human laziness, which is we have a dynamic dispatch layer that will dispatch a particular ride to a human or a robot, depending on pickup, drop off points, etc. And even in a situation where you have to walk 2 blocks to go get your car, a surprising number of consumers are like, oh, no, thank you, I'll take a human, etc. So one of the reasons why people come to Uber is they value convenience and they value their time at significant levels, which is why they're willing to pay for the service. So
and I'm telling y'all, cash rides. Jamil, you know this, man. He just said it. People are willing to pay for the convenience, the service. You just got to talk to the person. Just talk to the rider. Be like, hey, listen, man, give them that card. Talk to them. Let them know, because people are willing to pay you way more than what you think. They're willing to say, hey, like I said, I can't tell you how many times at this point I've done airport rides for the doctor and his family. I can't even tell you, because the moment I met them, they have only used me to get to and from the airport. And I met them when I first got this black SUV, when I first got it. So it's been at least 3 months. And he flies in and out of town a lot. And his wife, she just got back from the Olympics in Paris. I had to pick her up from the airport when she got back from the Olympics and everything. But it's like, if I would have never spoke to him, if I would have never said, hey, man, I could do these rides for y'all, he'd probably have somebody else as his private driver right now. He probably didn't want to be on Uber and Lyft. These people are willing to pay top dollar for the convenience, top dollar for the service. Text me, hey, Jeff, hey, can you pick me up tomorrow at 6:45 in the morning? Yeah, I can pick you up. No problem. Cool. I stop by the guard gate. The guards even know me at the gate. I get to the gate. The dude always calls me Russ all the time. I'm Jeff. He calls me Russ. He's like, Russ, right? I said, no, I'm Jeff. He's like, oh, man, I fuck it up every time. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm not Russ. I'm Jeff. But that's what it is. Yeah, he's in shitification. Exactly. Decepticon. And it's like, and I tell people, once we show that we're worth the money and they can trust us to be there, it ain't about Uber no more. It's about them having a private driver that they trust with a clean car that's going to be wiped down every time somebody show up. Bottled water in it. Like I said, when I show up, when I take these people to the concert, of course, I'm going to have ice cold water in there for everybody. That's what we do. And he's saying, oh, people will pay more for the service, because they're not paying for the service. They're paying for us. We're the ones doing the service. We're doing the service. We're the ones in the car with the clean car that smells good, with the good music, with the Spotify. They're just a video game app. That's all they are. Nobody's paying $40 to use a video game app, $40 in fees, and the driver's only going to get like $19 for the actual ride. Who pays $40 in fees to play a video game? I
do think the pickiness of humans and wanting to get things just right is incredibly important. Generally, we're seeing that when someone is offered, one of our customers is offered an autonomous ride, about half the time they say, yeah, that'll be really cool. Half the time they say, no, thank you. I'd rather have a human. I think that's going to improve over a period of time.
He's going to push people to become,
but I think the experiences are the delightful
private
experience.
Customers.
Robot drivers aren't quite as good at human drivers in terms of ratings right now. And maybe because people like to rate people at higher levels, or they're going to be less they're going to be tougher on robots than humans, etc. But I think people are trying to get from point A to B, and for us it's about driving perfection in every case, and giving people the convenience.
I'm gonna show y'all something funny. Hold up for a second.
It'll be tougher on.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna show y'all something funny. Hold up.
Or they're going to be less
Look at these two things around his ears. He's like he got Mickey Mouse ears on the top of his head. I just noticed that when he was talking. Somebody screenshot that shit. Make him like you got Mickey Mouse ears. Wait a minute.
They're going to be tough.
Somebody screenshot that shit. Like he got, and then like color him black. Screenshot that shit and color it black. That looks funny as hell. Make him like he got Mickey Mouse. So, I wish I had my phone. I might have to do that later. I'm gonna have to use that as the thumbnail to this damn video. I'm gonna screenshot that, put 2 Mickey Mouse ears on his fucking head. Like Dara talks business, Mickey Mouse ears. Like That shit's funny as hell. One of his jacked employees not putting out tech videos. Maybe Jeff, you'd like to come to your channel. Exactly. Somebody's gonna be like, dude, check that out. Dara's got Mickey Mouse ears on. Like, this is Disneyland Dara. Hell yeah. Hey, boys and girls. Fucking Disneyland Dara. You should come drive for Daraland. Yeah, be a Daraland driver. Be a pigeon. That shit's funny as hell. I saw that shit. Exactly. Mickey Mouse and the Pigeon Network. Instead of the Mickey Mouse Club, it's the goddamn the Uber Club or something like that. The Daraland Club. That shit's funny. Somebody screenshot that shit. That's funny.
Tougher on robots than humans, etc.
Making up excuses.
I think people are trying to get from point A to B, and for us, it's about driving perfection in every case. And giving people the convenience of their time back.
The consideration of rolling out the new geos, how do you sort of think about like going from Phoenix, Scottsdale to a broader market, either within Arizona or coming to New York, hopefully soon?
Well, I think for us, the good news is we're in discussions with multiple AV partners about bringing their content onto our platform, as long as that content is safe, etc. What we bring is, we're already operating in all these markets. So we understand what the pickup points, the drop-off points are, when you should operate, et cetera. We've built out all that infrastructure. Then an AV player can come and essentially instantly monetize with demand already spoken for. So we're absolutely going to look to expand as quickly as possible. You've got to do it the right way. You've got to do it with regulators coming along for the ride, so to speak.
Basically, regulators coming along for the ride is saying, we'll pay you. We'll pay you. Just like we paid Tim Walz. We'll pay you. That's what he means when he says, hey, we got to get regulators to, come along for the ride. Remember that video that I made that had the mayor of Phoenix driving around in a Waymo? I'm guaranteeing they greased that lady's palms. They probably said, hey, listen, we need you to ride around in a Waymo. We need you to do this. And we're gonna donate to your campaign. How much you need for the campaign? 25 grand? 40 grand? How much do you need? Exactly, Robin. I was just saying that. He wants to make sure regulators are along for the ride. We know what the hell you mean. We ain't stupid.
And I think the promise is very, very significant going forward.
There's this adage of people underestimate what can be achieved in a year, or overestimate what can be achieved in a year, and underestimate what could be achieved in 10. You're 7 years in now. Exactly, I think when you took the job, there was a lot of the advanced technologies group was going, and Uber was trying to develop these capabilities internally. I think people probably projected, there's a lot of commentary that I've seen to this effect, that there'd be some broader impact of autonomous driving at this point in 2024, 7 years later. As you look out 7 years from now, or whatever point in the future you can look towards, is there any projections or considerations that you sort of have around autonomous usage?
Yeah, I hesitate to project when every person's projection has been incorrect here.
Yeah, wrong.
But I do think that
the 300 gonna take over.
I think the adage is correct, which is, if you think long-term, autonomous is going
Mickey
to
Mouse
have
ears is killing me, man.
Very, very significant positive impact on society.
That's perfectly placed.
Safety,
Mickey Mouse
and we think
ears.
for our business, it's going to make transportation and mobility available for a lot more people in a safer way. Should bring prices down pretty significally.
Yeah,
now
right.
I do think that
so that's basically what he's saying. He's saying that if they choose auto AVs, it's going to bring prices down. But if you choose drivers, we're going to leave prices up. But autonomous vehicles cost more than a driver costs. You got to have technicians running that thing, people cleaning it. You got the software, the tech, you've got the body work. AVs are way more expensive than just hiring a driver and paying a driver a fair wage. I'm telling you, man, they selling people bullshit. Oh yeah, it's going to be so much cheaper if you guys just start taking AVs. How many times have they been wrong? They said the same thing about Hertz. Hey, Hertz is going to be so much cheaper if you guys just rent Teslas. What happened to that dude? That CEO got fired. He got fired because he put Tesla so deep, put Hertz so deep in a hole, buying all them damn. It's going to be so much better. These executives, they talk a good game, but then when that shit hit the fan, they want to, well, we don't know what happened.
How quickly they get into prime time depend on hardware versus software cycles, right? Software obviously can scale much more quickly. Virtual goods usually are much more consistent and uniform versus our business, which is a hyper local business. Every single market is different. Often we're regulated not on a country basis, but on a state basis, city basis, even airport basis, etc. So it's much more idiosyncratic in nature, which makes the scaling harder to come by. And then this ultimately is going to be quite hardware dependent for the business to be economically viable or as promising as we expect it to be. So kind of one construct that I look at is EVs, right? EVs, it was a technology actually. I think Tesla, for example, introduced their first model in 2008, right? Fast forward to 2023, 15 years later, and EVs account for about 20% of cars sold. So that was a technology that was kind of ready to go. Technically, it was ready to go in 2008. It took 15 years to get to 20% of the marketplace. I'm hoping AV doesn't take as long, but I do think because of hardware cycles and the idiosyncratic nature of the regulatory pie, it's not going to be 7 years. It's going to be more than that. 10 to 15 years from now, I think it's going to be a real part of our business.
Yeah, there's some value props outside of the societal benefit of lower death and stuff like that. But I just remember Minority Report, if you ever saw that movie. And there was a lane in the highway of people going 150 miles an hour because everything was, programmed in. And so the cars didn't need to react to one another and all that. So there are some of these like benefits that the individual user can feel even outside of the supply dynamics and the access and all of that stuff. And so I'm hopeful that people will see the opportunity sooner rather than later. Governments do the same. It's hard to say.
I'm gonna have to put this video in the
and the safety issue is a big one. Yeah, it's societal.
Yeah, we're done with him for right now. I'm gonna put that video in the description. That was good, Jamil. Jamil sent me a screenshot. He got the big ass ears on and shit, man. Oh yeah, all Dom, real shit, Dom, man. He can abandon drivers. There's the dirtiest dude. He's on child support and makes $50 million per year. Goes to show he doesn't care about his own children. That's the thing. If I got kids, just like with my son's mom, stuff like that, when they were first born and we didn't understand how the system worked, I was on child support because we didn't know how the system worked. We thought you had to go to court to be on child support. We didn't know you could just pay. Once we found out we didn't have to go to court, I could just pay money. I was like, well, shit, why am I on child support? So I just started just paying the money, even though the court was like $100 a month. I think I was paying for Dev, I was paying like $500-600 a month, but the court said $100 a month. But $100 a month wasn't like even his week for his daycare. So I'm like, I'm not about to stick his mom with all that shit. And I got him every weekend. So I was giving her like $600 a month. I was like, I'll cover all the daycare, plus I'll give you some cash too. And it made it more fair because she had him most of the time during the week and I took him on weekends and all that. I wasn't going out that much anyways. But it was just the simple fact that if you're that rich and you got to go to court to be put on child support because you don't just want to freely pay somebody, I'm like, you're too rich. This dude makes millions and millions of dollars. I'd be like, I tell you what, I'm going to see you 5 G's tomorrow. Probably seeing like 15, 20 G's next week. We ain't got to go to court. I just seen you some money. All right, cool. Then I ain't gonna waste no money on no attorneys. You ain't gotta waste no money on that shit. I'll kick you down. Shit, I got millions, 135 million. You want 5 G's? Shit, here. That ain't nothing. See you. It's like, oh, I need to buy a new car. What kind of car you want? I like that new Tesla. It's like, I got 135 million. You want to go buy you a fucking Tesla? Shit, consider it child support. It's done. It's like, man, it was like, why would you have to go to court? You got the money. That's your kid. Just give the money. Be done with the shit. Going to court makes you look bad because that shit's public record. It's like, dude, somebody had to take you to court to force you to pay for a kid. Like I said, with my first kid, I didn't understand. We thought that's how it worked. So we was going to court trying to establish child support. I didn't know I could just say, hey, you know what? I'll just pay you this much a month. Okay. Had no idea. But as you get older and you start learning, you don't need court is for people who disagree on things. Court is not for people that agree on things. If you agree on something, there's no need to go to court. I mean, I would never say, hey, pay child support in cash because one day you and that girl might have a falling out and she may say, well, he never paid me any child support because you paid it in cash the whole fucking time. Always paying money order. Always give her a check. Always transfer the money and put child support in the fucking, or put the kid's name. Don't even say child support. Just say for Ben, whatever, and send it to it. For Ben. So if she ever takes you to court, he never gave me child support. Print all that shit out. Be like, look at all these cash apps. I was giving her like $150 a week forever. I was just giving her $150 a week just because, you know, what's forbidden. This is my kid, man. And a judge might be like, well, shit, if he's already paying for it, $100 a month. Because, I mean, when you go to court, it could go either way. You go to court, your child support can go up, that shit can go down. So you might be careful who you ask. Because like I said, I went to court, the judge was like $100. She was like $100, but I still paid $600 because I'm like, that shit's not fair. $100 ain't. It was, like I said, my kid, they have never suffered, ever suffered. That shit ain't nothing but money, man. Money will come, money will go. I've lost it, I've made it. Shit don't make no difference to me. It's like if you, the biggest thing that makes a difference is your kid looking at you going, Dad, you had all that money and we was eating ramen noodles and shit and you was eating like sushi every day. That would be pissed off. Yeah, bro, he makes $4.1 million per month. That's crazy. $4.1 million per month. I'll be like, girl, I'll send you 5 G's tomorrow. Shit, what you talking about? I'll send you 15 G's next week. If I'm making 4.1 million per month, I'm gonna send you like 5 G's here and there. You might be just like, oh man, you waking up in the morning for need some breakfast. Your phone ping, bing, bing. You look, $5,000. Oh shit, he sent me 5 G's. That's so you ain't gotta take me to court. I'm kicking you down. You ain't gotta take me to court. I'm paying for you. Don't worry about it. I was just thinking about buying a new car today. Thanks for the 20 G's. No problem. No problem. It's like, man, it's like there's no excuse to be on child support. Tells me you a sucker. Exactly. Because people can agree outside of court on child support. They don't have to go to court. People who aren't told the law, like attorneys, make money on that. When you don't do shit outside of court, you have to go get an attorney. You got to go through all this paperwork, follow these motions. You got to deal with courts. It's going to cost you more than you just sitting down and say, hey, what do you think is fair? What do you think is fair? Oh, well, you know, maybe like $400 a month, $100 a week. $100 a week is cool. I mean, it's 7 days in a week. To pay $100 a week in child support, $400 a month, we could do that. Because in a week, just think if you have somebody watch the kid or whatever this and that, that's going to be $30 other gone for a couple of days or even a whole day. And you got $70 to last for the rest of the days. $100 a week in child support is nothing. It's 7 days. Basically, $15 a day. $15 a day is child support if you're paying $100 a week. It's 24 hours in a day, and you're paying $15 in 1 day. That's less than $1 per hour that you feel your kid is worth. That's cool. If he's only awake for 8 hours, and let's say he's awake for 8 hours, that means I'm paying $2 an hour for every hour he's awake. If he's awake 8 hours and he sleeps the rest of the day, I'm giving you $2 an hour. Cool, no problem. $100 a week is easy to pay in child support. It'd be people like, yeah, man, my child support is $76 a month. Fuck that. I'll be like, what? I'm like, bro, I was paying $600. Shit, that's like, and that was $600 for 2 kids. I had $600 going this way and $600 going that way. So I had $600 going in 2 different ways. So I was paying $1,200 a month working in corporate America. $600 going this way, $600 going that way. And then when I finally came to agreements outside of court, we didn't have to do that shit no more. I was like, dude, this is easy. Then I ended up getting custody of my son. So I didn't make her pay child support. I was like, no, you don't got to pay child support because it's the fact that I'm not giving you $600 no more. And I got him with me now. Shit's cool. I'll just use the $600 on him. And he wasn't costing me $600 a month because he was eating whatever I ate. We went to it was easy. It was easy, man. Me and my son's mom to this day, we could talk on the phone, be laughing and shit, cracking the fuck up, text each other about something stupid. Like, we ain't got no beef with each other. We got a 22-year-old kid and a 16-year-old kid. I ain't got no fucking beef with them. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. They married or moved on or got boyfriends. They got boats and shit, whatever they want to do with their life. If you got something funny to say, text me. Be like, Jeff, you never believe what this fucking kid just said. What? Blah, blah. And we'll laugh about it. We'll laugh about it. And that's how life is. These kids only stayed kids for a little bit. They grew up. So we couldn't be hung up on child support our whole life, man. Oh, yeah, still paying child support. I think they say the child support laws go up to 24 years old or either out of college or something crazy like that. So luckily, you know, I got two cool moms that was like, you know what, Jeff, this is what we'll do. Because one, she was going through because I went through a divorce. So my divorce was out the way. And then she had to go through her divorce. So she was like, you want to do me a favor? Say, you know, let's just switch custody. So I ended up getting my son while she was working through her divorce. He just hung out with me for a couple of years. But now he's back with her down in Florida. So I was never keeping him away. I just say, you know, we got a system going right now. Let's get you out of, you know, elementary school. Let's get your shit going. And when it's time to go back, you ain't gonna give your mom no hard time. I done already taught you how to cook, clean your own clothes, fold, do all this shit. You can go back and live with your mom now. And she said it was cool. And he's got 2 younger brothers. So now he's being a big brother down there. But that's what kids is, man. Like, why do people gotta go to court for this shit? I don't even know, man. And I talk to a lot of young brothers when I be driving. Yeah, man, I gotta go see my baby, man. The mom be tripping and shit, this and that. I be like, I'm gonna tell you like this, dog. That kid ain't gonna be a kid forever. That kid's gonna grow up. Never stop fighting to see your kid, man. If she don't want you to see him, don't, because all he's gonna remember is you weren't there. That's all he gonna remember. He don't know about y'all fighting back and forth. He don't know that. Fight every day. Be standing outside. Make sure he see your face, if only for 15 seconds. My dad tried to come to my school. The police came and got him. At least he saw you at the school, and the police chased you off. 2 weeks later, my dad tried to come to my basketball game. Security took him out, but he saw you though. That's all you there for, so he can see you. You ain't got to run shit. You ain't got to sit there and create no scene. Just make sure y'all lock eyes, wave, smile, hug him if you can. The mama's tripping, leave. He saw you. That's all you need to see. You took time out of your day to get to where that kid is. That's all he's going to remember. They never remember an amount of child support. I could ask both of my kids right now, hey, how much did I pay in child support? They'd be like, I don't know. Nobody ever told me. So it's like, see, they never remember that shit. Hey, what y'all do with that child support I was paying? But if you say, hey, remember that time I went to a Halloween party? Yeah, I skipped work for that shit. They probably know I skipped work for it because I had a job. This is, my dad was at my Halloween party, but they have no idea how much I pay in child support. So I can give a shit less about the money. It's not the money. If you ain't fighting every day to see your kid, even if a girl said, well, you ain't paid no child support, I'm having problems paying rent, but can I at least see my kid? We can deal with the money later. Money comes and goes. I'll fucking double up child support next year, but don't keep my kid from me because my rent is too much. At least let me see my kid. Shit, that's real shit. The time is gonna pass. I don't get the time back. I'll just, instead of $400 a month, I'll pay you $800 a month. Just let me see my kid. We'll catch up. But a lot of people, no, if you don't pay, you can't see him. Motherfucker, this ain't ransom. The hell? If you can't afford to take care of my kid, give me custody. I'll take him for a few years. I'll hang out with him so I don't got to pay you support, and I won't even charge you support. You got to find ways outside of court to do shit like that, man. We got to find ways outside of court. We can't always be willing to go to court and go to jail and call the police and call CPS, and it's too much bullshit. When your kid name get on all them documents and your kid's name is in all them papers and shit, he's being tracked by the state. You think that shit just sitting in somebody's drawer somewhere? No. When he started having problems at school one day, oh yeah, CPS sent us some paperwork about this kid. Why? Oh, his mom and his dad be fighting all the time. I got a whole file about that kid. It's a public building. It's a school. So all the school got to do is call the state, and the state says, hey, we're government agencies. We'll give you his file. Oh, so his mom and dad be in court like this. Oh, they was fighting over this. Oh, they did this. Oh, and now your kid is a marked kid in school because you and the mom and dad couldn't get shit right. And y'all been fighting the whole time, and now this kid's name is in paper. You don't ever want to put your kid's name in no paper. They too young for that shit. If your name is on paper because you went and stole some hubcaps, let that shit be on you because you stole fucking hubcaps. But don't put your kid on no papers over no custody stuff, over battling and fighting in CPS. And that's wrong, man. That's wrong. Because I'm telling you, both of my kids, both of them, they weren't on no papers from shit we ever did. If they ever did something on their own, that's some shit they created. My kid, he would get suspended from school on shit he did. It ain't nothing I ever did. It's like, man. And that's why I said, don't let your kid get on no papers because you and the mom couldn't get shit right. Don't do that. They ain't gonna stay kids forever. Man, thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. Hit the like button, 300. I got to go to work now. Hey, get out there and get that money, lady. Get that money. Keep it real, Jeff. Be safe, and everyone praying for all of us. You know it. You know it. Like I said, this live stream about 3 hours. I think I run for about another 30 minutes. No, let's say another 40. No, let's say another hour and a half. No, let's say fucking 7 hours. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't doing that long. But man, AQ Lights, I feel you though, man. I feel you. And like I said, every day, and I'm sitting here at 51 years old, and I'm so thankful that my life ended up the way it is. Like earlier today, my son was over here earlier today. My oldest, he came over because he's moving to Japan. And like I said, I got his car here. So he's moving to Japan. His flight leaves tomorrow. He's got like a 30-hour flight or something crazy. He's got to sit in Hawaii and go to Hawaii to somewhere else. Now he was telling me the whole story and shit. But I was cruising around with him. You know, I was in a truck cruising through Mason and everything, just showing him spots. Like, hey, man, if you ever decide on coming back to America and you want to come live in Phoenix, dude, it's not a bad place. So I kind of drove around with him, just showed him how everything really looks and how shit, because I know he's been hanging out, you know, with his girl in their little area where they were. And that's not all Phoenix. That's not everything. I'll tell you some cool little spots, you know, where I showed him my first apartment. I said, when I first moved here, this was my first apartment right here. I showed it to him. I said, this is where I used to live when I first, he's never seen it. So I said, that's my first apartment when I first moved to Mesa, man. I live right there in that corner, and that's the dog park. Straight across from my bedroom window was the dog park. I would take my dogs to the dog park all day. But it's like, man, because I didn't have a job, so I just went to the dog park every day. Me and my dogs hung up. We know everybody's fucking dog. But it was like, you know what? We didn't have beef. We didn't have, me and his mom, we didn't have beef to the point to where they can't just walk up on me, you know, come in my house, sit down, cruise around, chat. We talk about just random shit. We don't talk about nothing, you know, abrasive. We don't have nothing abrasive to talk about because me and the moms, both moms, any abrasion we had between each other, we kept our kids away from that abrasion. They know we wasn't cool. They know we wasn't cool, but we kept that abrasion away from them. They didn't know how cool we weren't. Now, my little kid, the little one, Dev, he be telling people, oh man, my mom and dad like best friends. We're not. We just act like we are. It's like, we not best friends. We just act like we are because we still laugh. She still got a great personality. I still got a decent personality. We can laugh about shit, but it's like, that's about as far as it goes. We have a good time. We laugh. We crack up. We got a kid. We will see each other for the rest of our lives because we share this kid. There's no reason for the abrasiveness. It's like, she calls me, asks me some questions or whatever. If I need to email something, text something, or she'll just send a picture of something. Cool, no problem. We have no abrasiveness. Any guy she's ever with, or if she's ever married and stuff like that, all that, he ain't got shit to worry about me. Like, motherfucker, I'm enjoying my life. Last thing I need right now is some shit in my life. I'm enjoying my time. I wake up and eat fucking pancakes, sausage, easy. If I feel like driving, I'll drive. Wake up, I take car covers off, wipe cars down, fire the app up, go make a couple of bucks, gas up, come back home. Easy. But I'm not going to sit up there and complicate my life. And I tell everybody, if you have young kids right now and you going through shit, I'm 51 with a 22-year-old and a 16-year-old, and each one of us live very easy. Each one of us live easy, even with the moms, no abrasion whatsoever. But it took us to go through not knowing what shit meant to be when they was young. And we kept trying to go to court and arguing and fighting and filing motions and arguing and fighting till we realized this is not how it's supposed to go. These attorneys and everybody's making a fucking ton of money off of us. We're young, we're dumb, nurses, bartenders, nurses. I'm an accountant in casino. We got money and we're paying all these attorneys all this money we're making. And we're like, we're too young for this shit. We're throwing our money away right now, coming to family court all the time over bullshit. So this is what we're going to do. If you say something, I might not agree with it. I'm going to say cool. And you got to deal with the consequence of it. Cool. And that's what we started doing. Just, hey, if it's your decision, it's your consequence. And we became those type of parents. Your decision, your consequence. Cool. And the chips came out to where we got kids right now that are just doing their own thing. Like I said, my son, he's been working Department of Defense. You know, he goes back and now he's going to get contracts over in Japan if he can. So he's going to move over there. It's going to be rough when he first gets there because he's talking about the laws in Japan. He can't really like rent a house when he gets there. Somebody who lives there has to rent the house, or like, I think he's got to be I don't know. He was saying something about some parents or something like that. I can't even remember. It's got to be a Japanese person that has to rent it. And then he can like live there or something weird like that. But he was telling me all the ramifications about renting houses in Japan and shit like that. But he's used to it. He grew up there. So he's going to go over there and, you know, live a life. I told him I'd come over and visit. I ain't never been to Japan, but I said, I'll come over there and visit, man. I don't think I want to fly that long in a fucking plane. I really don't want to. And then to have to come back. So I have to fly there. Then I got to turn around and come back. That's some shit, man. I'll fuck around, fly there and never come back. Cause that's a long ass flight. I might not want to come back. It's like, dude, I'll fucking take a boat. I'll walk. Fuck that. I'll walk all the way up through Alaska. I'll walk down through Canada. I'll walk through fucking California and shit. I'll get here. I'll be like 72 years old. Jeff, where you been? I'll walk back from Japan. Fuck that flight. I'm not doing that again. Motherfucker, that was like 20 years. It's like, I'm not taking that flight back. That's 30 hours in the plane. Hell no. Well, it's not 30 hours in the plane. It's because all the airports and shit like that. But still, man, anybody out there, I'm telling you, Q, man, just keep that shit up, man. And at someday it's going to end and your life is going to be so much easier. and your daughter's gonna thank you for it. And she's gonna be like, Dad, you never gave up, even though it was rough, it was hard, it was rugged. I mean, I was even homeless during 2 periods of time that I was homeless. But it's like, hey, man, you got to go through what you got to go through. And you come out on the other end fully developed. I've been through so much shit. I know I can go through pretty much anything. I've been through an explosion, homelessness, crazy shit, goddamn divorces, man. I've been through everything. So it's almost like, you know, even picking up a dog from the bus stop a couple of weeks ago. When I found a dog at the bus stop, you know, it threw me for a minute because I ain't never just picked up no dog on no bus stop. I had 3 dogs at home already. So I'm kind of like, this is some new shit. Like, I go through stuff myself. But here's this little fucking dog at the bus stop barking nonstop like he's nuts. He's probably right outside the door because he don't leave me alone. He's probably right. I can open the door. He's probably sitting right there. And he's actually been the coolest dog, man. He's been the coolest little dog. And I'm not somebody who just picks up random dogs and brings them home. I'll find them and I'll call the number on the tag and I'll find out whose dog they are. That's the gist of what I do. But this dog, he didn't even have a tag on. And I wasn't taking him to no, you know, dog pound or no shit like that because he was too little. He can't fend for himself. So I was like, fuck. But now I got 4 dogs, man. I've been through worse. That's the way I look at it. I've been through worse. When he's a Scuba Jeff, like Scuba Steve, damn it. I've been through worse. And that's all I keep thinking about, Jeff, man. You've been through worse. It's just one more dog. You just got to buy different dog food, different treats, clean up more poop. You've been through worse, man. You've been through worse. And this is my life now, man. Yep. Hate it or love it. Nipsey, that's it. Hate it or love it. Hate it or love it. Man, Jesse, my man. Hey, thank you for the super chat, brother. He said a little something from this pigeon work out here. Jesse, you wild, man. You wild. Hey, you out driving right now? Are you declining rides or what are you doing, man? What's going on out there? I'm gonna have to bring you into the live stream, man. I'm gonna have to bring you in. Are you free to talk? You got a rider with you? What's going on out there, man? Let me know what's going on in Phoenix. It's 11 o'clock at night. What's going on in Phoenix? Is it a concert or something? Let's see. I don't think it's nothing out there. I don't see nothing on my app. Last night it was like surging, man. It was like, damn, it was $13. Probably like about 6 miles away from me. $13 just sitting on Broadway and like maybe 19th Ave. Just sitting there. I'm like, oh shit, I could probably make it down there in about 15 minutes. But it'll disappear by the time I get there. I don't chase surge no more, man. It ain't even worth it no more. I'll fuck around, get that $13, and they give me a ride to Tucson. Be like, oh, yeah, go to Tucson. There was a couple of concerts downtown just doing rides with surges. Oh, smart shit. Like I said, hold up, man. I'm gonna see if I can post this link in here. See where you at, man. There you go, Jesse, man. I dropped the link in there for you. I just want to see what you up to tonight, man. Well, I ain't had you on in a minute. I know JoJo's like, my dad's on the internet. My dad's on the internet again. Man, I declined all last 2 nights. Didn't take trash rides at all. Man, that's all they've been. Like I said, I was coming down the highway today after my private ride. $3.04. $3.04. I'm like, these apps are straight tripping. You know them people for this black truck, they paid at least $12. At least they paid $12. I would say maybe even 10. $3.04 to me. I'm like, nah, I'm cool, man. And then it was over kind of like close to like Casino, Arizona, which is on the other side of the highway. So I know they probably walked out of the casino, had a probably $11, $12, ride they paid for. And they'll give me $3 to make a U-turn and go pick them up to bring them back to where I just was. I was like, nah, I'm cool, man. I just kept moving, kept driving. But no, if there's anything we know what we can do in this economy right now is convert. That's about all we can do right now. And Uber and Lyft, they don't understand how we're doing it. So for their revenue numbers to be what they are, for them to never mention cancels, acceptance rates, declines, they never mention any of that in any interview. I would ask them that shit. I'm like, hey, do you guys keep records on cancellations? You guys keep records on acceptance rates and declines and everything? So what do they look like? So how much money do you think you're losing? You're losing based on cancels or based on declines. How much do you think you're really losing? Man, I guarantee they'd be like, well, we didn't come here to answer that shit, because if we tell you to answer that, our investors are going to dip out on us. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, man, when I'm out now and all the fares are shit. Yeah, exactly. Convert 2024 and beyond. Oh, yeah. Man, let them no pigeons allowed. He's got the no pigeons allowed flag up there. Hey, because you already know if and just like Joe said in his early video, everybody's trying to segue out of ride share into something else. If this is what you do and you only got private rides, let's say you do, each one of your rides you do is $45. Let's make it fun. $45 a ride. And you're going to average, let's say, $3-4 a mile. So you're going 10, 15 miles, maybe something like that. $45 a ride. You only have to do 5 of those a day. You do 5 of those a day, you're over $200. You only got 5. You telling me you can't get on Facebook, Instagram, texting your old clients and stuff like that, even trying to find new clients, finding you a $13 ride, and you can tell somebody, hey, man, I'll do it for 30, or find you a $20 ride. Hey, man, I'll do it for 40, 45. You can do it. It's just a matter of, are you going to? You could do it. All you got to do is say, hey, I'm going to convert this ride 5 times. That's it. 5 times. Oh, that's cool, Jesse, man. Yeah, I don't think I can get on. I don't know what's going on my phone. Hey, we all have phone problems this week. It's 11:11. Oh, yeah, just turned 11:12 over here. That's right, brother. That's right. Yeah, he just make it sound like it's complicated. Yeah. And I'm saying, man, if you can turn 5 rides a day, and that's converting, that's just saying, if you see a $22 ride, $25 ride, just say, hey, I'll do it for 40, but I can't do it for 25. They might like, oh, we paid 52 for it. 40 sounds fair. You do that 5 times in one day. 5 times. You only did 5 rides and you made $200. You got people out there doing 20 rides, 24 rides. They ain't even at $200. They had 170, 180 because they doing these $3 rides, $7 rides, $8. Oh, but I'm busy though. Risk. Why do it when you can do 5 and make a killing? No risk. You sitting back at Einstein Bagels, kicking back at Einstein Bagels, which reminds me, I got to put bagels on my list because I got to go to the store. Because like I said, I like bagels. I'm going to get some of those cinnamon raisin bagels. Because when I'm driving and I'm cruising, I got my cooler in the back. I can put some strawberry cream cheese in there, get my cinnamon raisin bagels. That way I don't got to eat no shit food when I'm out, man. Because it's about to be wintertime. Y'all know, man, it's time to be out. We got to get out there and get that money. Oh, let's see. Oh, Jesse's in the mix. Hold up for a second, y'all. We got Jesse up in here. What up, my brother?
What's up, Jeff?
Oh, nothing much, man. Shit. You downtown Phoenix right now?
No, I'm over here at the QT on Highland and 16th Street.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, Highland and 16th. Wait a minute. Highland and 16th Street.
Yeah.
It's a quick trip right there. Oh, across street from the apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where you're at. Yeah, across street from the apartments. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, hey, all those people in those apartments, I'm going to tell you right now, advertise while you're over there. And I'm going to tell you why. Everybody in those apartments are either gay or lesbian, and they all tip. I'm serious, man, because they go to that party area, man. And I'm always dropping them off.
I got a gay story, man. I don't know if I should tell you about it, but it's crazy.
Oh, should we vet this story first? Should we should we talk about it at Circle K first and then?
Man, I had this guy. I gotta tell because I already told everybody.
Don't forget the oatmeal. What about them crusty dozens? Yeah. Well, now you might want to advertise over there, man, because every ride, like I took this group of lesbians one night. It was like 3 or 4, man, and I took them to that Dottie's or whatever that place is right there. Man, they gave me a $50 bill when I pulled up. $50 bill. That was in a Beamer. $50 bill. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I just think. Honest, and I hate to stereotype fucking people. I really do. I hate that because it makes me sound like I'm weird. But I think gays and lesbians tip way better than every fucking body else. I don't know, man.
You know who doesn't tip? Are strippers. For me,
oh yeah,
I picked up a lot of strippers and they never tip.
No, they. I ain't giving no man no money. I just took all this money from men all night. I ain't giving no man no money. That's they shit. But I don't know, man. Like I said. Whenever I'm by like the little party area on like McDowell, I'm picking up everybody, man. And I honestly think the fact that, we make everybody just feel comfortable with the way we chat, the way we talk, the way we are, the music we play, you know, the conversation we have, giving business cards, this and that. They feel like welcome, like, man, I actually got a cool fucking driver that don't give a shit if I'm gay or not. That's why it irritates me when I'm watching mainstream media and go, yeah, we can't even hold hands. I'm like, dude, who the fuck y'all riding with? Right. Like, we don't care about that. It's like, bro, we trying to get money out here. Yeah. And so it feels different, man. Just cruising around, like you in a good area of tippers right there too. 16th Street,
I got my little stack of cards right here with me too.
Hey, that's businessman right there. Businessman, shit. Stay ready.
I do that, and I do that advertising up on Facebook.
Yeah, and you got to, man. I already see you advertising on Facebook all the time. Do you do Instagram too?
I got Instagram, but I don't know. I'm gonna try it out here pretty soon. I did it on TikTok, and then I got Instagram, but I haven't done it on Instagram.
Well, see, the thing about Instagram is that everybody's, all of the football teams always got their Instagram pages and stuff like that. They got IG pages with videos and pictures on it. I don't see that much on Facebook about football teams and stuff like that. Instagram, you got ESPN, you got a lot of people doing stuff like that. So if they can just see your business stuff scrolling, and you're talking about football season rides, stadium rides, bar-to-bar rides, football party rides, that and put like helmets and shit on the ad to let people know, I cater to football parties, man. If you guys are having a party or something, you need like runs from here to there, hit me up, man. Save some money, because it'd be surging like crazy in Scottsdale. They be paying like $40 to go like a block and a half. It's like, holy shit. Yeah, they'd be like, yeah, I gotta go from like Mr. D's, and we're gonna go over here to the Horseshoe. We just paid $47 and we're getting like 13. Like, what? Like, man. And that's with a $3 surge. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing morning rides too, and I've been getting people going to work. I got a couple of people already linked up to take them to work. Yeah. Like $20 rides, just to take them down the road, not too far. So
yeah.
Well, you know what? I got like these.
Do you do any rides in like Mesa, Gilbert, and stuff like that?
No, man. I try to stay just over here, close by my house, like in Phoenix, and I'll go into Tempe, but Mesa.
It's far once you start moving too far.
Yeah, it's kind of far. It's kind of like you going to my neck of the woods up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Thunderbird. Exactly. It's like, whoa, that's too far.
And the only way I go up there is private rides. That's it. I'll end up there with a private ride. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
When I see an app ride come through, shit, I'm not taking that. I end up way up in Surprise on Union Hills and shit. I'll be like, man, I'm way the fuck out. But for you, it's like, this is what we do up here.
Yeah. I try to stay in my own area. I don't try to go too far.
Well, you got to try to learn, like, find some more drivers on our side of town, because I think Ruben is on your side. Marcel's on your side. You were over there. Eric's up there. So, and Juan Vargas is just down south of there. I mean, we know about 5 or 6 drivers on that side, so we can send you guys stuff. But know some people on it, because only person I know in Gilbert Mesa is Jamil. But for the ride that these people are needing, they don't want black car service, because like I said, they don't want my prices. They don't want new. They want like a regular car, because black car service, yeah, it's gonna run them a pretty pin. Because I won't be like, oh, I'll do that, man, for like $15. The BMW might do it for $15, $20 because it's good on gas and shit, but nah, I don't know. And it's Monday through Friday. It's Monday through Friday. It's twice a day. Yeah. So I'm like, shit. And that's the only thing. It'll be way too far.
Yeah, I got a couple of people already linked up, but just got to keep on doing it. You know what I mean? The more you get out, more chances of you can't give up. Just got to keep on, keep on going. Eventually it's going to fall through, especially because it's, the summer, and then, like you said, football season's coming around, and, snowbirds start coming in and it starts getting busier. So,
yeah. Well, I know once the football season starts hitting or whatever, I got to get with you, like me, you, Chad, maybe Jamil. I know Bighorn, Kev, Eric, definitely Eric, and maybe get Ruben and Marcel. We all need to hit a certain part of town, like all the sports bars, and find out which bars are which. Because I know where there's a couple of like, Jets bars, the Chicago Bears bars. I know stuff like that. And we just need to like hammer on some of those bars, man, for real. Just hammer on some of them. Because people are getting charged up the ass to leave these bars, man, up the ass. Abby, I'm going to get you on next live, Abby. I'm going to get you. Yeah, but I know we just need to figure out how to hammer those bars down, because when people are walking out, man, the prices they're paying to go places like, $60 to go like 15 miles. I'm like, how in the hell are they charging people that? And they'll charge somebody $4 or $5 a mile for a ride, but give us like $1.11, $1.30, 79 cents. I'm like, dude, this shit don't make no sense. We can just go straight to the rider and be like, this is what we're gonna do. It's like, this is gonna be a different season, brother. It's gonna be a different season, brother.
Yeah. Just got to keep on doing the cash rides, and you're handing out the cards, and do our best. Don't give up, because otherwise these apps are just gonna take advantage of us.
Oh yeah.
When I was over there downtown, I think they wanted somebody to go to Queen Creek for like $23 from downtown.
Yeah, $29 for me the other day.
$23. I looked at it. I was like, $23 to go 40 some miles, and then it's probably dead over there, and then you got to backtrack. Man, they're crazy.
No, and they probably charge them people about $4 or $5 a mile for that ride. They charge about $4 or $5 a mile for that ride, so they probably pay close to about $100. Because I know when I did from the airport to Queen Creek, the people paid me $130, and that was from the airport, not downtown. The airport to Queen Creek. So to downtown, there would be more than that. And I was like, because they were paying more. They were paying more through the app than they were paying me. So he was like, shit, 130 is good. I was like, yeah. So I was like, man. So that's what, like I said, that's what we got to do, man. We got to, and just like they told us to say, get those season ticket holders, man. Those season ticket holders, man. We got to look at who's going to the game every weekend, who's going to the game, who's going here and there, and just see what we can do.
Yeah, I got a friend. He has season tickets, so I'm gonna hit him up too, because I know he's always going down to the games, but he knows a lot of people who go. So I'm pretty sure they'll need rides back and stuff like that, or even going to the game.
Yeah,
and I'm up here pretty soon.
Yeah,
cool. Season starts. But,
all right, see you, Neil Exchange. See you, brother. Yeah, man. Like I said, it's about almost 11:30 at night. You think it's pretty dead out there right now?
Yeah, it already started dying down, because all three concerts, they kind of let out at the same time. There was something down at the Footprint Center. It was like some Spanish singer, and then there was something at the Van Buren, and then at that other place, the Arizona Federal.
Yeah.
So I did 2 of those from the Arizona Federal. I didn't do anything far, but they're like
that's what I try to do.
each.
Yeah, see, I'll take one every once in a while. I'll get one on the 10, and I'll go up to 51, drop them off on like Thomas or Indian School, then hurry up and hightail it right back. That's about as far as I'll go, up to 51 to like Thomas Indian School. Then I was like, nope, I'm headed back now.
Yeah,
because I don't want to get out of too far away from downtown where you can keep getting those nice rides and those nice tips down there. Otherwise, because they'll send you on a nature hike all the way up the Grand, and you'll be getting off somewhere like way the hell out on Bethany Homes. You can't even come back. He's like, man, I'm too far up now. So like,
yeah, they had sent me one like that too, but it was up in Glendale, but on the 101, like Mohawk or something like that, 59th Avenue.
Yeah.
No, that's too far up to go and then try to get back down over there to.
Yeah, because once you go there, you might as well just stay.
Yeah, I'm right there by my house. Might as well.
Exactly. Like, fuck it, I'm staying now. Y'all got me this far. I'm staying.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'll pay you $100 to take me up there. Okay. Now I'll do it. Now I'll go. Like, jeez. Yeah, but man. Yeah, man. I'm about to get up this live, man. It's about 3.5 hours, and I said I was going to do it about 3.5. So this is good, man. I'm glad you got on, though, man. Glad you got on.
Yeah, I just have to figure it out, man. Us old cats, we're not tech savvy trying to get into some of this stuff. I'm like, hold on, let me try to go back in this thing.
Exactly. Man, and that's the thing, is like even with this damn new phone, man, I'm scared to use it because every time I try to open something, it's saying log in, and I'm like, oh, when I tried to get in the hum earlier, I had to log in because it was on I was like, are you serious? So I did 2 rides today. I did 2 cash rides today, not using hum at all, because I have to go through and reset all that shit back up. And it finally opened up to where I got in there, but I had already done the cash rides by that time. So it's like, what if driving around with no insurance? I'm like, hey, I'm like old school now, baby. It's like, I don't care shit. I'm not turning out no cash ride. Oh man, my commercial insurance app's not working. Shit, give me the money. Let's ride.
Another thing that sucks about that when you got to log back in, like for me, like every time I get kicked out of something, I have like 2 passwords that I use, and then like if it doesn't work, I'm like, oh, which one is it? Is it the other one that I? Like right now, it asked me a password to get in right now, and I was like, "Which password did I use?"
Yeah.
It took me a minute, but I got it.
Man, exactly. I keep going back and forth with the same shit, but I'm into about probably 80% of my old apps. I'm probably in right now. I'm in about 80% of them. I got to call Alarm Code to figure out what I got to do. It's got to call ADT because I'm like, bro. And they're going to say, well, are you sure you're not trying to rob this house? No, motherfucker, I live here. What is my shit to get into my system? I can't get in my code, man. I can't get in. Abby says, I want to learn how to StreamYard too. I'm really old school. I'm telling you, we're gonna get you on StreamYard. We're gonna get you on, Abby. We're gonna get you on. Yeah, but man, I'm gonna end up getting off this live stream tonight, man. But shoot, I appreciate
you're not gonna come out tonight.
No, I don't know, man. I'm gonna try to eat something right now. Like I said, I took a nap earlier, so I'm energized. I can go out, man. I'll probably turn the apps on and see if they send me something. If they send me something from Arizona Grand, if they send me something from like downtown or whatever, I'll take it. Definitely, I'll take it.
Yeah. No, I worked earlier today, and I just came out for this concert right now. These concerts, and wanted to see how much they were gonna pay and stuff like that. I'm probably heading home right now, but I'll probably go back down over there downtown. Because it's Thursday, and a lot of times those little clubs right there.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the Cobra Arcade and all that stuff like that.
Yep.
People, there's people out there right now. So
yeah, Club Downtown is sitting over there on Central.
Oh, your favorite spot?
That's my spot, man. Yeah.
All the Latinas, they
hell
go
yeah
to the Grammys.
I'll tell you, they at the Latin Grammys, man. Them ladies, they dress to impress. Shit. If you want to know what style looks like in Phoenix, go by Club Downtown. All the Latinas, they set it off. They don't take no shortcuts. They walk in there like, shit, I might fuck around, meet a millionaire tonight. Like, nah, you're gonna meet an Uber driver, motherfucker. Like, we trying to get Surge. That's about it. You ain't moving no fucking body tonight.
Yeah, that place is always popping, man, on the weekends.
That should be lit. That should be lit. I'll be like, man, these girls be dressing like they finna meet goddamn Tony Starks or some fucking body. It's like, nope. Say, this is Phoenix. You're downtown Phoenix, lady. You're gonna meet fucking the squeegee guy at Circle K. That's about as far as you're gonna get. You're not meeting nobody important down here. No, that's funny shit. Yeah, well, all right, brother, man. Shit, I'm gonna let you get going, my man. Shoot, I'm about to get up this thing myself. I gotta grab me something to eat, man. Like, whew.
All right, thanks, Jeff, for having me on, man.
Oh, no problem, bro. Tell JoJo I said what's up. You gotta clip this and be like, hey, what you gotta do is do a commercial for yourself right now. Like, what do you do? Say, hey, my name is, and this is what I do.
Yeah. Oh, right now?
Yeah, man. That's your commercial right now.
No, man. No commercial right now.
Yeah. Man, be like, my name is Jesse. I'm doing these rides. What's that?
I have to have one of those AIs talk for me, man.
Oh, the hell no.
I like having that AI talking, man.
My name is Jesse. Welcome to my claim. You don't talk like that in real life. That's AI, goddamn it. Like, man.
No, JoJo will see it. JoJo will see it. And my other son, Giovanni. Giovanni's the youngest. JoJo's my 16-year-old, but he's always telling me, hey, you watching Jeff today? And always talking about you. And then my other son, you remember last week I told you I was up at Flagstaff.
Yeah,
he's up in NAU. He just moved into his apartment over there with his buddies, and school starts on the 25th. But they're just getting situated over there, getting to, familiar with the town and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I got that one up there, man. So that's one birdie already flew out of the house.
There you go, man. 2 more to go. You like, come on, let's go.
They're almost there, man. They're almost there.
Yep. Nah, that's the thing, man. When all kids are gone, we're taking a guy's trip around the world, 2 weeks. Bring your money. We're just gonna go 2 weeks all over the world. And I say the most you need is like maybe $200, because as we go around the world, we're gonna rob people because we're gonna make money off. Like, yeah, we're gonna end up in jail fucking around with this trip. Like, no, like shit. What up, Greg? No, man, it's gonna be fun though, man. Like I said, hopefully he's up at NAU having a good time. We're gonna have to get him and the boys on a live stream one day. Be like, hey, when y'all party and tap in, be like,
yeah, definitely, man. My other son, you know what was funny about my son being up there? I was just gonna say something. It's like, you know, him being gone. And I had to buy some toilet paper, and I was like, man, we're not using that much toilet paper. And my other son goes, it's because Cruz is not here. Now you can start saving money on toilet paper.
It's like, man, you full of shit. We figured it out. You was the one full of shit. We figured it out.
Yeah.
I know the stream is like, you ain't toilet paper now, man. I'm telling you, man. That shit's funny as hell. That's funny. That's our kids, though, man. That's our kids, though, brother. Daytona's like, hey, man, this stream is like, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. Hey, we be getting it in, brother. We be getting it in. But no, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me on this live stream, man. All you guys with the super chats, I really appreciate that, because, you know, YouTube ain't taking care of me, but you guys do. And I appreciate that, man. But
all right, Jeff.
All right, Jesse, man. I'll see you, brother. You be easy out there, brother.
Peace, man. Take care.
Peace. All right. Yeah, so, and you guys, man, and like I said, you can go back to the front of the video, man. Go back to the beginning of the video, do the replay, man. It was some really good information on this one. And make sure you check out Joe's video. Like I said, I'm going to put all this stuff in. As soon as I close this, I'm going to go do some edits real quick so I can actually get all these videos tagged in here so you can go watch Joe's channel and everything too. But, man, I appreciate you guys for rocking me 3.5 hours. Daytona, man, y'all be wild, man. Y'all be wild. Uh-oh, Greg's, my brother made $144 a day in 12 fucking hours. Man, you should have converted at least 5 of those. If you would have converted 5 of those, that 144 would have been about 344. You would have been killing it, man, killing it. Go gig it, all right, brother. Hey, y'all be safe out there, my man Ron. Y'all be easy. Hey, like I said, Ron, I need a picture from you too, man, with the Brotherhood shirt on. I'm gonna do a whole collage. So, Abby, Ron, I'm gonna need all these shirts with the Brotherhood, Sisterhood shit, because we gotta do a collage on it pretty soon. It's gonna be nice. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about, man. In the meantime, y'all be safe out there. Tomorrow's Friday. Let's make money this weekend. Y'all know how we do. Get them business cards ready. It's time to convert, baby. It's time to convert. Let's get it.